Hey there! Welcome to Retro Reloaded. I'm your host Lance, and each week I tackle a retro game shaped by your picks. If you want a chance to choose next week's game or unlock exclusive bonus episodes and polls, join me on Patreon at patreon.com/retroreloaded. There's even a free tier to dip your toes in. Big thanks for all of your love and support. It means the world to me. Now let's hit the start button and reload those retro vibes.
Okay, hello, welcome everyone to another episode of the Pixel Panel. I am your host, Somerset Banjo, otherwise known as Sunnyside. And today we have probably our biggest Pixel Panel yet. We have 7 guests. Today we are going to be talking about Star Wars Prequel Games. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started with the episode. So the first guest on the top of the list, let's start with Bath. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm not really important.
All right.
You're
All right.
us.
All right, Mr. Dan, you're next.
All right. So my name's Dan, and I run a small company that creates wipes specifically made for cleaning video game controllers. And controllerwipes.com. Relatively self-explanatory, and I'm honored to be invited back on.
All right, Dungeon.
Hello, I'm Dungeon XX. I'm just a 40-year-old gamer that's, just loves the hobby.
All right, Icecreaman.
Hello, I'm the Icecreaman, and I'm probably most known for making Star Fox Event Horizon for like the last decade, which coincidentally was inspired by a few of the games we'll be talking about today, so I thought this would be kind of fun to join in on. And that's probably all I'm really known for.
Okay. Mr. Sobin, your turn.
My name is Sobin or Sobin, whichever one you want to go with. I don't have a preference. I'm a digital illustrator. I guess for the shameless plug, that could just be x.com/retail robbery or bluesky.app/profile/retail robbery. That part. So I've been working several things with Star Fox and a couple of other video games and old movies lately, and that's pretty much what I'm known for.
All right, Mysterious Wanderer.
Hey, pardon me. Hey, I'm the Mysterious Wanderer, also known as the Arcane Wanderer. I'm basically just kind of a writer and amateur artist. I write a few webcomics. My probably best known currently is one called A Matherine. I've been a massive Star Wars fan my whole life, and Star Fox kind of just bled over from that, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
All right. Thug Life. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Drone, it's a spy satellite. Nope, it's me, Thug Life Superman. I've been also a fan of Star Wars my entire life, and first-time guest, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Awesome. As for me, you can find me, Sunnyside, on Twitter and Blue Sky as Somerset Banjo, or my YouTube channel, which is also known as Somerset Banjo. Currently, I do video game streams roughly around 4 times a month, and I'm also working on a Star Fox webcomic, which I'm hoping to have the first issue out within the next 3 years. Preferably sooner than that, but, it's not easy to make a comic. All right. So, now that we've all introduced ourselves, let's talk a little bit about Star Wars. How were you introduced to the Star Wars prequels? And more specifically, today's topic, the Star Wars Prequel Games. Were they, just something you were heavily invested to in the time, or was it just something that, you saw that, it's a Star Wars game, and you picked it up and got immersed into the prequel era that way?
Well, I had the VHS copies of the original trilogy back when I was a kid. And then, of course, the prequels came out, and I got to see them in theater, and, one thing led to another.
I think I have a bit of an unusual intro to Star Wars in that as a kid, I was never actually interested in Star Wars. My father was always trying to get me to watch it, but I wasn't interested. And then I think it was around the time the Phantom Menace was coming out, I discovered the first Rogue Squadron game, and I thought that was really cool. And then the Phantom Menace came out, think like just a month or two after that, and that's kind of how I got into Star Wars was through Rogue Squadron, and then when the Phantom Menace came out, like I have vague memories of my father trying to get me to watch it when I was a kid, but I for some reason it just didn't interest me when I was a little kid.
Oh, sorry. For me, I was like really little when the prequels came out. I was about 5 when the last prequel, Revenge of the Sith, came out. And I just kind of got interested from the DVDs, and my mom gave us like the church garage sale, got like VHS tapes, and I've just kind of sporadically played Star Wars games. I had like a few I saw as a kid. I was like Star Wars that I bought like pre-owned. Then as I got older, I probably played some more ones over time. But yeah, I've been a fan of the franchise my whole life, basically. I can't actually remember if I saw any of the prequels in theaters. I would have been like really little. So yeah.
So my family would try to introduce the original movies to me when I was far too young. Funny enough, the only thing that stuck out in my mind was how scary Episode 5 was with the final confrontation with Vader, and I was just it was way too intense for my little tiny pea brain and whatnot. So when the prequels came out, I was kind of the perfect age for it. Everything was, like my Pepsi cans and the entire like multimedia assault was everywhere. I did end up going to see it in theaters, and that one I could actually latch onto with Episode 1. I wasn't like a huge fan of it or anything. It wouldn't be until Attack of the Clones where I would start like picking up like the video games and more notably like maybe the toys. I remember there was like a fun like figurine battle game that they had and everything. So like I would start picking up, I think Bounty Hunter was when I would get more into the prequel side of those video games. And I would also pick up Attack of the Clones, the tank game for the Xbox. Of course, I wanted Halo, but Walmart only had the Attack of the Clones coming with the Xbox, so I had to wait a while before that. So it was kind of multiple like things kind of all hit at once, but I was generally a fan of the series. It wouldn't be until I was like a teenager and I would watch the originals again, and then I would be a much bigger Star Wars fan.
Surprising because Jar Jar is terrifying.
He's something.
Here's a fun fact regarding Jar Jar. Before they eventually casted the guy that they did to voice and play Jar Jar, do you know who was 2 actors that they both auditioned for the role of Jar Jar early in the film's development?
I know one of them. I didn't know there was
Gilbert
2.
Gottfried?
One of them was Michael Jackson.
That's the one I know.
And
Who's
the other
second guy?
The other one was Tupac.
I did not know that.
Just getting out.
That would have been surprising.
Wow, that's ironic.
I feel like
Easy.
both of those actors would have made that a much different movie.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, Jar Jar. That actually might have been pretty cool to see.
Oh, you saved my life.
I don't know. I
Robbed.
watched that Michael Jackson movie that Disney made way back whenever, and that was interesting. I think it was like Captain ELO or something.
Captain EO, yeah. I remember that. Man, that's...
Oh yeah,
that's
that's right.
that's
Equal
such a long time.
Opportunity.
What is that?
It's a space movie where Michael Jackson has to like save a evil queen's heart with music.
So like it's like that Felix the Cat movie just with Michael Jackson instead.
Teach
Awesome.
the queen to love.
George Lucas was
Through
involved in
song.
that too, I think.
He
I haven't
was.
seen that in 30 years, probably. I remember Captain EO.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So my introduction to kind of the prequel stuff. I was like really, really little in 1999 because I was born in 94. and I think I saw Star Wars Episode 1 in theaters. I think the theater that was doing it, they did like a back-to-back special where they would show like the special edition version of A New Hope, and then they would show Star Wars Episode 1 right after that. And so I actually kind of remember the special edition of New Hope a little bit more than I remember Episode 1, even though I think I saw them back to back. But I thought it was all right. I was a little too young to really appreciate it, but I did get into a lot of the Star Wars tie-in games. I think one of the first prequel games that I had played is Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Naboo for the Nintendo 64, which I'm really looking forward to talking about soon because it doesn't seem like anyone has ever really played that one.
I have.
Oh,
I
good,
have to.
good.
I've
I just never
again
beat
might
it.
have taken quite a bit of inspiration from that one.
All right. So, is anyone else?
Not me. Not me.
Okay.
Hang on. Well, my introduction is kind of like Bath's. I started watching the original trilogy because my parents had bought like the VHS tapes because they had come out like years before I was born. Actually, wait, no, it may have been like the year or whatever. But yeah, I did watch all those movies, and I watched them till practically almost the tapes broke. So I actually loved Star Wars a lot. So when I found out there were video games of it, I naturally just jumped on that. But I didn't get into like the prequel movie games until like 99. No, not 99. No, yeah, 99.
Well, that's when
Sorry,
they started coming out.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting dates mixed up. I'm getting too old. But yeah, I think the first one I jumped on was the Episode 1 Racer because that had an arcade version and a home port, and I thought it was pretty good. But I think the Battlefront ones are what really did it for me because that had like the original and the prequel trilogies in them.
I think the same thing for
Okay.
me. Like my parents also had the cassettes for the original trilogy until my aunt's VCR ate Episode 5.
Oh no!
So yeah, that became the one I was least familiar with.
Oh, that's a tragedy.
Was your
Yeah.
VCR secretly a Sarlacc pit?
It may as well have been. This was like no. So yeah, I only had 4 and 6 growing up. I did not have 5 because yeah, again, my aunt's VCR ate it. And then after my brother got an N64 for his birthday, like I think, like you said before, we picked up Racer and we both just played the absolute crap out of it.
All right.
I mean,
So,
if his VCR,
go ahead.
if his VCR is a Sarlacc pit, then it would have spit out a Boba Fett after it was done eating the tape.
I think I missed it.
I remember this is
Bounty hunter.
probably maybe a month after the Phantom Menace came out. I had a friend who somehow recorded like a bootleg of the Phantom Menace and he had it on a VHS, and it was like really terrible sound quality.
Wow.
It was all blurry, but I remember just thinking that was like, how did you get this before it's actually like my brain was just broke at the fact that a bootleg was even possible. I remember watching that with him on
Magic.
screen TV. It all sounds like the sound quality was so bad.
Goodness. I mean, yeah, like old camcorders way back in the day. I had one that I played around with. They were bulky, so getting that into the theater and not getting caught.
That was probably a
Agreed.
video and a half. So, Dan, have you shared your introduction to the Star Wars?
So I have a bit of an odd one. I was born in '98, so like by the
Oh,
time I was old enough to start watching them, they were like the remastered George Lucas DVD set. And then one of the first DVD sets I ever owned was for my birthday one year. I think I was like 7 or 8. It was whatever the year that Revenge of the Sith came out was. I got after because we just finished watching 4, 5, and 6. My dad got me the DVD set of 1, 2, and 3, and then I watched those.
oh.
And growing up with them at the same time, I didn't have like extra nostalgia for one over the other. But I always thought Anakin was a cooler character than Luke. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I always seen Luke as really whiny and Anakin as really moody, and I'd rather have the moodiness over the whininess.
Well,
think
Anakin
it's
definitely has
equally-
2000s angst with him.
Yes, he does. And he dislikes sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
And rough.
You know, I got to defend Anakin on that shit. Sand sucks.
I mean, yes, but so did that line.
Yeah, he's saying it to woo a girl, and it worked so well. He married her days after.
I think it only worked because there was there was already
Look,
that
I have
there,
seen
but-
enough people marrying like as soon as possible, and their marriage is just falling apart. To tell you that that's totally real.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so if everyone's ready, let's talk about the Star Wars Episode 1 tie-in games. I have a kind of a we're not going to probably cover every single game. But I kind of covered we're going to kind of cover most of the mainliners. So, one of the first ones that came out was Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace for Windows and PlayStation 1. That anyone here have played that one in particular?
No, I only saw the movies. Sorry.
No worries.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was just saying I played it. I never finished it though, and I don't remember liking that one too much. And remember, I don't know. I don't. If I remember right, I got through the level where I think you're like guarding Jar Jar Binks in like the swamp or whatever. And after that, I'm like, I don't think I like this one that much. It's been so long since I played it though. I'd probably have to play it again to kind of I don't know, kind of refresh my memory on it.
Yeah,
I've only
this
seen
one
people review it.
this one in particular I've never played myself, but from those that have played it, they talked about that in some ways it some parts of the game is almost kind of like a sandbox. And apparently there's like a Tatooine section that basically Mos Espa basically serves as like a hub with like, merchants and like different like side missions and stuff. I do know that pretty much almost every single NPC in the game is killable, so you can basically go around killing every NPC in the game if you wanted.
Or can you do like an Ultima and kill all the necessary people?
Yeah, I mean, like even like the like the movie characters you can kill off.
You can
Shoot Captain
You can kill
Panaka in
Jar
the
Jar
face.
With the
Yeah.
death of this character, you've set. I can't even remember the line anymore.
But yeah, I know the one you're referencing from Morrowind. But yeah, that's whenever I see people talk about the game on the internet, they always kind of point out that, hey, you can kill anyone in the game. So
I mean, that's always a liberating game feature.
we'll go ahead and talk about the next one. One that I'm pretty sure a lot of us have more to talk about, and that is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Oh
Yeah.
Yep.
So somebody was mentioning it earlier, but does anybody know if the arcade one is anything like the N64 one? Because I'm
The
pretty
arcade
sure
one
they have
is
completely
Yes.
different tracks.
They're very different.
It's
They're
very
made by
different.
different developers
Yeah, it
too,
was.
I think.
I played
Because
the arcade one a really, really long time ago. I was super confused. They had like an actual replica pod seat thing. I could
Yeah.
never quite figure out. You had to hold one stick to turn and one stick to go forward. I was like, what? I kept hugging the wall.
No, it was
yeah.
tank controls. So like you
Yep.
manage the
was.
power of each individual nacelle.
Oh, I don't remember that version. I guess the arcade version I saw was what Wander was just saying about earlier, like the both controls inside Anakin's pod.
No, that's what
the-
I'm saying is like when you push one stick forward, it makes one engine more powerful, and when you push the other stick forward, it makes the other one more powerful. And that's how you
Okay, that
steer.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah, I played it. I used to play it a lot at Chuck E. Cheese. I actually really liked the arcade version, actually quite a bit more than the N64 version.
That makes
It's more
sense.
hands-on.
I
I got
hope. Sorry, I hope that this new Star Wars racing game comes out takes cues from this, takes enough inspiration from this old pod racer game, because I only watched a little bit of it, but it seemed pretty good. So I hope they, it lives up to its predecessor.
I don't. I want it to be Wipeout.
Well, it's going to be that. I just want pod racing to feel like pod racing. So I'd say now this is pod racing as we pass by Old Man Sabova and Ben, what's the McFace, whatever the dude with the big face and pod. I think he's coming back. Ben
Uh,
Quad.
Sure.
Something.
Yeah, because
Oh, Orson Arrows.
that guy
I
never
actually
died.
brushed up
Yeah.
on Racer earlier, and it does not feel as good as like Wipeout, because Wipeout actually has that feeling like you're kind of floating above the track, whereas Racer feels kind of generic in the way that you're kind of anchored down, unless you're in one of those tubes where you can spin around and dodge.
I know a lot of people really love Episode 1 Racer. I never really got into it too much myself. I like the arcade version, but without the actual, like, adjusting your power to each nacelle, it just kind of felt more like you're just, like, trying to control a guided missile than an actual racing game on the 64.
That's fair.
But I do know that a lot of people really, really like that one. I know the 64 game in particular had a pretty robust set of tracks and playable racers. Like pretty much every racer you see in the movie, you can actually play as.
No, it was fun. There were just there's just not much to it. It's one of those you hold down A and steer kind of games.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do know that they recently re-released it on the Switch, I believe.
They did, and it's still fun.
No, this is pod racing.
Yeah.
We need more hover car games.
Oh,
like-
indeed. Nintendo's holding out on us. We need another F-Zero.
Well, we
Oh
was-
my god, yes. I'd settle for an HD remaster with proper widescreen of GX.
Yeah, they have a few things like F-Zero. There's the Wipeout games, and then I think there's this other one, and they're releasing the new Star Wars racing game that has pods. So there you go.
Ballistic NG on Steam is really good.
Never heard of
And
it.
that actually has like mod support, so you can put in like F-Zero cars.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that the other day. Maybe someone can make a pod racer mod. All right. Well, anybody else have any memories or thoughts they'd like to share on Racer before we move to the next one?
I guess I can talk. Hello? What happened?
Man down.
Oh,
I
I
think,
think
I think Ice Cream's mic isn't working.
Uh-oh.
I thought I disconnected.
Oh,
Oh,
are
there
you
it is.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
can
are.
hear you.
I think my mic
Yeah.
stopped working there. I was like talking and I didn't see the
Oh.
green thing around my my icon.
Ah.
I think my mic just stopped for a little while there.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well,
At
so you
least
had
it's
some,
working now.
so you have some thoughts on Racer?
Yeah, with the possible exception of F-Zero X, it might be my favorite racing game I've ever played. I'm trying to think if there's another one I liked more. I probably have like 2,000 hours logged into the N64 racing game.
Nice.
Honestly, Episode 1 Racer needed a boost button.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there
It
was
was
a
interesting.
It does
like,
have a boost button.
well, no, it doesn't have a boost button. You have to like hold up and then you boost.
Okay, well, just a single button instead. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I always love doing that.
I remember being able to actually sit in one of the arcade machines, and I really loved the seat that they had for it that was shaped like the pod, and I loved the twin sticks. So, I don't know, for some reason it had a lot of tactile feel that I really loved.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play the N64 one. I never got an N64 as a kid, so I basically skipped out on those titles for the most part. But I did play this, we'll talk about later, the sequel to it a lot more. But I did like the arcade machine. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All
Wasn't
right.
there like a sequel on the PlayStation 2?
Yes,
Yep.
we're going to be covering that one a little bit later. It's called Racer Revenge.
My friend had it, but I never got to play it.
All right. So,
I never experienced the sequel.
most people didn't. I think a lot of people don't even know it exists. So the next episode 1 game we'll cover next is Jedi Powered Battles, which came out for the PlayStation and Dreamcast, and surprisingly enough, even the Game Boy Advance. This one I actually have a lot of fond memories with. I used to play this, the demo kiosk of it at Walmart all the time. They had the Dreamcast version on one of those old demo kiosks, and I would play that first level over and over and over again every time I went to Walmart. And when they re-released it on the Switch, I actually finally bought my own copy of it.
Yeah, the only thing I know about that is like the PC and current gen release of it has Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, they just recently, I think it's just a few months ago, re-released it. I still haven't got the re-release yet, but yeah, I loved that game when it came out, but it's so hard. It's
Oh, it is.
brutal.
It's very clunky.
It is a
Yeah.
very it is a clunky game,
Yeah.
sadly, but I really liked it when it came out all those years ago, and it took me years to finally beat it.
Yeah, I could never get past the first level myself when I was playing it as a kid, but the fact that you could play as Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan together, or if you unlock some of the other characters, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a really fun take on the story of Episode 1.
Yeah, it's a lot. From what I remember, the first few levels are super hard, and then the game just suddenly gets kind of easy until the last level. Like, the difficulty is kind of all over the place from what I remember. Yeah, I remember, like, the first 3 levels being way harder than almost all the other ones in the game.
My friend Max and I would basically we would co-op, but he would just be more interested in trying to like screw up and sabotage the run by trying to stab at me like all the time instead. So we never finished it, but it was fun.
Now, one thing that's interesting about this is Mace Windu is one of the unlockable characters in it, and since this was before they gave him the purple lightsaber, he actually has like a blue one in the game, and I think they changed it to purple in the re-release.
Yep. On the re-release, I think you can pick between the two. I haven't got the re-release yet, but I think I remember there's like an option to pick between blue or purple.
I still like the reason that Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber.
He just asked for it.
Well, yeah, because like
Yeah.
apparently when his agent like first told him that they wanted him to be in the new Star Wars movie, he didn't believe them. He's like, "Yeah, tell him that I'll do it if they give me a purple lightsaber." And then his agent called him back and they're like, "So they agreed on the purple lightsaber."
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
The pimp
There you go.
saber is the ultimate artifact in the Star Wars universe.
It's strong.
anyone here that played Smash Brothers Melee, I used to imagine the beam saber in that game as being Mace's lightsaber, since it's purple in that game too.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I thought the same.
Yeah, I think that was a little brighter though, just to be.
It's pink,
Nitpicky.
but
Yeah,
Well, it
no,
looked
I always
purple on
thought
my
of it more
TV.
as like the Gundam beam saber.
yeah.
But yeah, I never actually owned, like I said, I never actually owned the game myself until I recently bought the re-release, but I haven't played it yet. But yeah, I have a lot of fond memories for Jedi Powered Battles. Dan, were you trying to say something?
No, sorry. Like I said, I mainly have I have a lot of time sunk into the Lego games,
Okay.
and that's kind of about it. So I'm holding
Oh,
out
okay.
until then.
Okay. Well, then next we're going to talk about one of my favorite Star Wars Episode 1 tie-in games, Battle for Naboo for the N64.
All right. If I'm right, you and I are the only two here who've played that one.
No, I've played it.
Oh, cool.
I just never completed it.
I remember how I got that game, because for most of my childhood and basically until I could make my own money, I'd only ever be able to get a game on either my birthday or Christmas. But for some reason, during Easter of
Definitely don't think we can hear you. See the green
We can't
spot?
hear you.
Ice Cream, I think you're I heard a Discord notification and then your microphone popped out.
Yeah,
Is
you
it
know, it
possible
wouldn't be a
his microphone was
podcast
making
without a
that
whole bunch
thumping
of.
noise earlier?
But yeah, it's not a podcast unless you have technical issues.
This is
Yep.
podcasting.
Welcome to
Ha.
Discord. We call it that for a reason.
That just goes, it's working. It's not working.
It's not coming through.
So
Welcome back.
did you hear anything I said? Because I couldn't hear anyone after a second there.
No,
Yeah, well, you start
you cut
talking
out
fine,
after a
and then I
while.
heard a Discord notification ping, and then after that ping left, your voice just completely dropped out.
All right, I have no idea what you guys heard or didn't hear.
Well, I don't remember what you were saying, so start from the beginning.
I was saying I remember exactly how I got that game when I was a kid, and basically until I could make my own money, I only ever got a game on my birthday or Christmas. But for some reason, in Easter of 2001, my parents got me the Battle for Naboo, and I didn't even know that game like existed. They're just like, "Here's this game. It's the new Star Wars game." And that's how I got it. So that's always, for some reason, that memory's always stood out to me because it's the only time I ever got a video game like at that time of the year for most of my childhood. But the Rogue Squadron games in general are like my favorite Star Wars games, and that one is no exception.
Yeah,
For
no, I
me-
really liked Battle for Naboo. It
Yeah.
definitely brought a lot of things forward for from like where Rogue Squadron was with the vehicle switching and the branching paths when you do switch vehicles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, my introduction to Battle for Naboo is I used to rent video games a lot from video rental stores because there actually still used to be a lot of them around that time. And I saw it on the shelf there, and so I rented it. And I think I actually played this one before I even played Rogue Squadron, and I absolutely loved this game. I really liked like what you were talking about, the vehicle switching stuff. I thought it was so much fun, and like, you know, 1 minute you might be in a land vehicle, and then you'd drive it into a hangar, and you might be in a boat, or you might switch it out with a ship. And I like the variety of different types of N1 starfighters that existed, and I like the variety of missions. And from what I understand, it's actually like one of the N64 games that actually has one of the highest internal resolutions in terms of released N64 titles.
Yes, indeed.
That's
If you have the
crazy.
expansion pack thing, anyway.
Mhm.
I think it's also the first game ever made that has developer commentary in it too, if I remember right.
Yes, and it also
Really?
used
That's
I
cool.
think, yeah, and it also used Dolby surround sound, if I believe.
Yeah, just what a weird little if that's true, what a weird little fact that the first video game commentary was in Star Wars Episode 1, The Battle for Naboo on the N64 of all things.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
have
it'd
to
be
do
some
some
like big
research
budget
on that
PC
one.
game.
Yeah.
So, as far as the surround sound goes, it would have been Dolby Pro Logic 1, which would have been the rear two speaker channels were dot matrix encoded into the left and right speaker cables coming out of the N64. So they would have been mono in the back.
Okay.
And then on the GameCube and PS2 had Dolby Pro Logic 2, which is when they found a way to encode even more speaker channels into stereo output. And then the rear speakers had stereo output, not just one channel going to the two rear speakers.
Okay, cool. One of the things I thought was cool about Episode 1 Battle for Naboo was I liked the in general the story about it, where you're like basically doing the whole resistance movement on Naboo against the Trade Federation, and I like how it kind of weaves in and out of the plot of Phantom Menace. I will say I did not actually like the space missions in Battle for Naboo. I thought that they were way too dark, and as a kid, I always had a hard time making out anything on the television screen at that time. But all the land missions I really enjoyed. Also, I think one of the other interesting things is Sykes, the guy that you play as in Battle for Naboo.
Gavin Sykes.
Gavin Sykes, yes. He actually makes a brief appearance in the Phantom Menace movie. He's actually
Yep.
like in the background in like 1 or 2 scenes.
Oh, that's cool.
The
Wait,
original Glup Shido.
No, I think that was Max Rebo was the original
Yeah,
Glove
yeah.
There was once a deleted character named Glup Shido from all the way back in the original movie.
There's
yeah.
Glup Shidos in the original movie.
No, there was an there was a character literally named Glup Shido who was deleted. Like,
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. Look him up on Wikipedia. He was real.
I did not know that. I thought Glup Shido was just a meme name.
It
Well,
is.
these days.
This guy's like the founder of it.
I like how the main bad guy in Battle for Naboo is a cheat code for Shadows of the Empire.
What's his name?
It's like Jorvo the Hutt.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was gonna say if the pilot, the character you're playing as, I'm like this is seeming a little similar to some Dash Rendar going on over here.
Yeah.
No, Dash
Yeah,
Rendar
I
is just
really like the Jorvo the Hutt subplot in the game. I kind of feel like that the game's plot kind of fizzles out slightly a little bit after you deal with Jorvo, but generally I think the first and second act of the game is really strong.
yeah. It's kind of funny that Jorvo kind of eats the plot for like half of the game,
Yeah.
and then after you're done dealing with them, they're like, "Oh, wait a moment.
I still gotta
we have to
blow
deal
up the
with
droid
Trade
control
Federation."
ship.
I
Yeah.
know there was something I forgot to do.
Oh yeah, liberate the planet. I forgot.
Obligatory blow up the droid control ship at the end of the game level.
I'm sure the 10-year-old screaming about spinning will take care of it. It's all good.
There's actually also a brief cameo of Sykes in a game that we're going to be talking about later in the Star Wars Starfighter game. He actually briefly appears in one level in that game too.
If I'm correct, he's also in Galactic Battlegrounds.
Yes, he is.
Which I worked on the expanding fronts mod for that.
Oh,
coincidentally.
awesome.
I did a lot of sprite work for that a few years ago.
Nice. But yeah, for me personally, I always really liked Battle for Naboo. Always kind of felt a little bit disappointed it got overshadowed by the other Rogue Squadron games and of course the later Starfighter games. I think it's a really kind of fun gem of a Star Wars game on the 64. I love the use of Duel of Fates as the main menu theme. I kind of wish the game would kind of do what Battle for Naboo did. I just really like the whole concept of multiple vehicle switching throughout the level. Maybe that'll come in maybe a future Star Wars game, or maybe even a Star Fox project.
Well, I mean, it was in Rogue Squadron 2, and Rogue Squadron 2 just kind of blows Battles for Naboo out of the water. But
It does, but it's not a main feature of Rogue Squadron 2. It's
only in a handful of off the top of my head. It was only in the I think it was the Cloud City level, and I agree that Rogue Squadron 2, like, it has a way better feel. Like, the game it's so polished compared to the Battle for Naboo and the first Rogue Squadron. But my problem with Rogue Squadron 2 is it's so damn short. There's not enough of it. It's so short.
Yeah,
there's a lot of missions where you get to switch vehicles, especially.
True,
especially
but
when you're in
that.
that.
It feels different there. It's a lot more scripted. In Battle for Naboo, it felt more, I would say, maybe more organic.
Organic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like stealing the TIE fighter and using that to sneak into the base. That was probably one of the standout moments for that entire.
That might be my favorite level in Rogue Squadron 2, actually. The one that you could do at day or night.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That too.
I used to speedrun that level a lot when I was younger.
I had to fix the GameCube's internal clock because I hated the night version so much.
Yeah, I preferred the
I just had better luck with a Y-Wing.
I think we might have gone off on a tangent, though.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever done the daytime version of it. I think I've only ever done the nighttime one.
Ion cannons for the win.
I liked the daytime one. I'd literally spend try and bomb and destroy everything at that base, all the parked TIE fighters and everything without dying.
I love how broken that level is in Rogue Squadron 3 when you're playing with somebody else.
Oh,
Yeah. I have a lot of time in Rebel Strike.
Because I remember that if you take the shuttle back over to the TIE fighter and steal the TIE fighter after you have the shuttle, then you have a rear gunner on the TIE fighter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so next let's talk about Obi-Wan's Adventures for the Game Boy Color. Anyone here played that?
I have not.
I have not either.
And these
With one exception, I've actually never played any handheld Star Wars games for some bizarre reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I never even knew this game existed.
There's one exception. That's it for me.
Yeah. I will say it's interesting to note that Obi-Wan's Adventures was actually published by THQ and not LucasArts.
Huh.
I think that the Game Boy Advanced Episode 2 game was also THQ.
I kind of wonder if maybe THQ people just kind of deferred to them because they just had a better, I don't know, apparatus when it came to handheld releases.
Aren't that the guys that used to be A2M?
No, THQ is the
had
publishing company, but the development team, I'm not sure.
So,
because I think
I usually
A2M
love. Oh, sorry.
I think A2M was their original name, but they had to change it because of sexual connotations.
Yeah. So if no one else has anything to really comment about Obi-Wan's Adventures, we'll talk about Starfighter, which was the game that kind of eclipsed Battle for Naboo.
Yes, indeed.
Look, I just was playing that, and it kind of sucks.
I like Battle for Naboo more.
There's no
I also very recently started replaying Starfighter.
Yeah, I got to the point where you go back to that place that you're in the beginning with the canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not a bad game, but it feels very experimental.
Well, there's no impact to anything. Every time you get hit, there's no feedback except for your camera shaking all over the place.
Yep, I agree, yeah.
Also, I have no idea where those Scarab starfighters came from. I've never seen those before in my fucking life.
But yeah, I think they were created just for Starfighter and Jedi Starfighter. I don't think they've been in any other Star Wars games. I will say one thing that is kind of interesting. I believe Starfighter and, of course, its sequel Jedi Starfighter was actually done by an internal LucasArts team that had done Outlaws for the PC a few years earlier.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, in fact, there's some leftover Outlaws assets in the game as Easter eggs.
Oh, something else I want to complain about with that game. There is no context for most of the stuff that goes on. Your briefing to the mission is, this is what you're going to have to do to complete the mission. And then it just starts. Sometimes there's a very short cutscene, or they'll be like, okay, here's an establishing shot. We need to destroy those things that you just saw on the list of briefing. And then, once you get to it, the things that you were briefed on just kind of happen, and there's no real room for surprises because you already read everything that you need to complete.
I do wonder if that game was rushed out to market.
Oh, it feels like it.
Well, it did come out in 2001, so obviously it wasn't trying to rush out to meet the film.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a launch title for the Xbox
and PlayStation 2.
Yeah, so it might have been rushed to come out during the launch of those consoles. I'm not sure, but the feeling I get from the game is that they were using technology and stuff that they didn't have it was new technology that they were kind of experimenting with and didn't quite understand it. That's kind of the vibe I get from playing the game. I very much feel that way about another game, Star Wars game we're talking about soon, where it feels this new Xbox technology, we're not used to this and we're trying to get a handle on it.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable, but I mean also like the sound design is really terrible in that game. Everything's way too loud. And
Yep.
the main N1 pilot that you play as, he sounds like Stinko Man.
I seem to remember the little blasters from the scarabs having a really obnoxiously loud sound effect.
All I really I Starfighter was a game that I never really owned myself. I played it at a friend's house on the computer because they did actually have a PC release too. I remember that the graphics looked kind of cool at the time, like the space levels, but I remember like the land levels looked kind of basic
Yeah.
and textureless. Um, I know that story-wise, I was kind of confused by the story, but kind of goes all over the place. But I think it was just because they were trying to relegate a lot of the story to like cutscenes and stuff in between
Well,
missions, and not so much
it
in the levels
switches
themselves.
characters all the time, and there's never like any establishment of like who these characters are and what they're doing besides like, oh well, this guy's a smuggler. Do smuggling. Oh, this guy's an N1 pilot because he's obviously in an N1. Oh, this person's a maybe mercenary, and then you don't learn anything about her.
And then just throw in a Toydarian who was kind of cut from the game.
Is that the person in the green ship? Because I don't even remember what his deal was.
I'm pretty sure he was also supposed to be another playable. This is why I suspect the game was kind of rushed out to the market. It feels like there's like just incomplete and cut things from the game, and he was one of them. I feel.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you play as him.
You can
'cause I think that
unlock
was
his
the last-
craft, but I don't. I haven't. I've been recently replaying the game, but I haven't finished it. But from what I remember, you can unlock his craft. I don't think there's any levels where you play as him.
I'm pretty sure that you play as him when you're in that level where you're attacking those big freighters, and then the missile ships come in, and that's the first time you see the missile
Trying to
ships.
remember.
Of course, keep in mind the Xbox version is the most complete version of Starfighter. It actually has more levels compared to the PC and PS2
PC
version.
one.
Okay, I'm playing it on Steam.
Yeah, I've been recently replaying it on Steam too, but again, I haven't gotten through the whole game yet.
So wait, are Starfighters unlockable later on? Because as far as I can tell, they just decide for you.
For the multiplayer,
Oh, okay.
you can unlock the Toydarian craft, I think there's a cheat code that unlocks it too.
There's
You can
also
also get the
bonus
Sith
missions.
Infiltrator, if I remember right.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. One thing I do like about Starfighter, though, is it does kind of like flesh out the Trade Federation more by having them have other facilities and other planets and them being up to other stuff at the same time. So I do like that aspect.
Well, maybe in the Xbox version, definitely not in the Steam version I was just playing.
I will also mention that apparently Starfighter also got an arcade release,
I
and
didn't know that.
yeah,
Huh.
I used to see it at Walmart because for a brief time the local Walmart here actually had arcade machines. They had the Jurassic Park 3 arcade and a Star Wars Starfighter arcade. I spent most of my time playing the Jurassic Park 3 arcade machine, but that they did have a Starfighter arcade machine there, and I only played it once. And basically, I barely remember it, but you basically were in like the N1 Starfighter, but it was like on a fixed track, and so basically all you're controlling is like the reticle of the lasers.
Oh, so it's more like a rail shooter almost.
Yeah.
I've never heard
And-
of this.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like
And
Starblade?
Yeah, kind of like Starblade.
Like House of the Dead, but you're a Starfighter.
Start with a Starfighter setup, huh?
I've never heard of this, huh? I'm curious to track that down.
I've only ever seen it and played it like once. And it's like I remember it being like incredibly hard, but it's like they took like all the assets from the Starfighter game. So I mean it has like the scarabs and stuff.
Oh
but
it is real. Wow.
But
I've never heard of this.
But they did it like a rail shooter, and every level like ends with a boss.
That sounds trippy. I can't believe I've never heard of that. I gotta have to track that down now to see if is it better than the original game?
Well, I kind of liked it a little bit more, but again, it's
Huh.
like also a lot harder. But it
Okay,
has
so
better
probably not
combat.
then. Interesting. I've never heard of that. I've gotta see if I can find one that's really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's generally my Starfighter experience. Anyone else wish to share any memories or thoughts on this?
I think all
Sucks.
mine were ironically, most of my experience is going to be with the sequel, which we'll probably be going over later.
Yes. All right, then we'll talk about the other adventure of Obi-Wan, Star Wars Obi-Wan for the Xbox.
The other game that I was saying feels like a wonky experimental trying to get a hold of a technology game.
I think that's the one I tried. Oh, go ahead.
No, just keep going.
All right. That I think that was the one I kept trying at the Walmart kiosk. Just got nowhere because of all I just could not wrap my mind around the controls.
I had a really long time ago in like kindergarten, there was Randy's house I went over to. I recalled seeing him playing it, and I watched this guy. I watched a little bit of a playthrough of it online. So I have no idea what the controls are like. It looks super wonky though. Like
It's a very wonky game. I don't like this game, but it has a multiplayer option where you could go into like an arena and fight, like pick a different Jedi and fight each other. So I endured hell to beat that game and unlock all the characters through that, so me and my friends could just beat each other up as Jedis.
that sounds like a good, fun time, kind of like the Episode 3 game that
Episode 3 games, the actual Episode 3 game's way better, at least, in addition to the
refined
multiplayer thing.
version of all the failed Jedi games until Force Unleashed came out.
Yeah,
Yep.
that Obi-Wan game it's brutal. It needed some more work, sadly.
Force Unleashed count as a prequel game?
I don't know.
I'm not counting it
It's
as
a prequel movie game, but it definitely is a prequel to the original.
Yeah,
movies.
it is.
For the purposes of this podcast, I'm not planning on covering Force Unleashed for this, since I consider that more related to the original trilogy, since it's involving Vader, the Empire, things like that. But maybe for a future podcast, we'll talk about Force Unleashed.
Let's see, we'll talk about One Punch Sith. Anyways.
So yeah, I don't really have too much experience with Obi-Wan myself. I do know that at the time when it came out, a lot of video games magazines were pretty much praising it for its incredible Xbox graphics, and they also kind of talked about how weird Ewan McGregor sounded in the game. It didn't sound like how he does
The voice
in the
actor
movie.
is really funny in that game.
Is he Scottish or German sounding? I can't recall.
Like, was it him in the game?
I think it was, but it's
No,
like
I don't think it was Ewan McGregor himself. I think
Let's
it was
look
an
it up.
impersonator.
Maybe it was the original guy from the Clone Wars show.
The
Maybe.
Jackman.
It was
Could be
actually
wrong, but
Obi-Wan
yeah.
Kenobi.
One game. I'm just looking it up, actually. Let's see here. It was wait, no, sorry. Right now. Okay, let's see here. I'm having trouble finding it. Maybe we'll have to check later, I guess.
okay. I looked it up. Okay, so the guy that plays Obi-Wan is Lewis McLeod.
Dengar and Peppy
McLeod.
Hair.
I'm McLeod.
Duncan McLeod.
Hey, wait, he's Fox McCloud's secret cousin, I guess?
And a Highlander.
Yeah. And and apparently James Warwick played Qui-Gon and Matt Levin played Anakin.
Did he say, now this is pod racing?
I don't know. But yeah, so the Obi-Wan game. I always found it fascinating that this particular episode 1 tie-in game came out so late after episode 1 came out. I mean, it came out in like, what was it, like late 2001?
That's probably why the advertisements on the front made it look like it's going to play as Obi-Wan throughout his whole life, like right before and I guess during the Phantom Menace. I wish they kind of waited. Okay, it would have been awesome in a alternate universe if it came out like after Revenge of the Sith in 2005, and you actually got to play as Obi-Wan, from the different stages of his life, leading
Yeah, that
up
would
to
have been cool.
the Jedi Purge, doing some adventure or something. Then I don't know, that would have been way better.
At
Yeah.
this point, it's a monkey's paw situation because it would be based off of the current Disney show.
Well,
Or
if
was
it
that a
did it,
movie?
that was the show. That would have been, if they made it now, but if they did it back then, it would have been really interesting because that would have been based off of the expanded universe / Legends material.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is if they made it now, it would be a monkey's paw situation.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right. So, so now is for the last of the episode 1 tie-in games we're going to be covering. Super Bombad Racing for the PlayStation 4.
Absolute,
Never heard
the
of this one.
the Citizen Kane of video games, obviously.
More like the Bible of video game hobbies, of tie-in racers. You guys don't know how bombad this racer is. I don't even know what bombad means. It must mean something good, though, right?
Actually, you used it in the correct context, which is the worst part.
Oh god, this doesn't even look good. It's
No.
got
Yeah,
like
no, it's a
Oh,
Mario
God.
Kart.
Does bombad mean? It means supreme, excellent, or great.
Look, I will say one thing about this game, and it's that the title is so much better than the game.
Yeah. The game is so. If I may go first, I truly watched a playthrough of it, and it looks janky as hell. They look like freaking prototype Funko Pop bobbleheads, and like some of the tracks are just so poorly designed. I could not tell like where you're supposed to go on some of them.
Yeah, I may have
Chibi
jumped the
Darth
gun
Maul.
saying it was a Mario Kart. It's more of a Garfield kart.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know, man. This picture of chibi Darth Maul is gonna live rent free in my nightmares for the next week.
Oh, there was never mind. It's not actually it's not really a prequel tie-in game. Never mind. I was thinking. I'm like, wait, there's one more Phantom Menace tie-in game, but it's not. Now that I think about it.
I mean, there's a couple that we're not really covering. There's like a Gungan farming sim game that was like.
Oh
for,
yeah,
like,
that one too. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that one.
Absolute Pino. There we
I was,
go.
I was for
That's what
some
we need.
reason for like 10 seconds, my brain was like Star Wars Demolition, but that's not actually a prequel tie-in game.
We
No.
need more Gungans.
Yeah. But yeah,
the Gungan terraforming moon simulator. I remember that one.
Oh
That
lord.
was trippy.
thought about including it, but then I was like, nah.
Can you
But,
break Jar Jars in that?
Obviously. A very sensual game.
Jar Jar breeding simulator.
So how do you
Me,
terraform a moon?
I mean, you breed all the other animals in that game.
So yeah, how do you terraform a moon for Gungans?
Wait.
You fill it with water?
And you just add water to exponential growth. That's a
Breed profit.
adventure
But
time.
yeah,
Right?
I never played Super Bombad Racing myself. I took one look at that cover, and even as a kid, I was like, I don't want to play that. No.
Yeah.
It was a meme game before the idea of a meme game really became popular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It would probably definitely be like a meme game if it got re-released now. Yeah,
Like
people would probably-
2007, it probably would have done really well.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, especially now. Like, yeah, if it came out in the last 10 years, everyone would have loved it.
One
Yeah.
of the absolute classics
wait,
up there with Leisure Suit Larry.
The idea of like a really goofy like spoof meme game and like around that time though probably just didn't really. I think it kind of went over people's heads at the time.
Well, there was like Lester the Unlikely.
I think I had this Burger King toy that had a giant bobblehead style thing way back when. It was a Star Wars one. I think it had like Darth Maul or Boba Fett on like this tiny ship. It looks exactly like the Bombad character models do. I wish I had
a Bombad toy. Who knows?
If that thing would have come out now, it would be called like Bomb Gotcha, and it would be a freemium game.
Gotcha.
It would come in a capsule and be sold at Dollar General.
Just one more pull.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right up there
So-
with the dumplings that people are getting with sprinkles on them or whatever.
Wait, guys. They were at McDonald's in 2008. They had Bombad looking versions of the characters for Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we're done with the episode 1 era, we're going into the episode 2 era. And
The peak video game era of Star Wars.
Right, man.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, if they
Just
weren't
banger
prequel
after
games,
banger.
yeah.
They were
So
fun.
They did.
the first one we're going to cover is Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Woo!
And of course, it's the only one I haven't played from Attack of the Clones.
I
That
I
one was
played
fun.
a
I
lot
haven't
of
played
Bounty
that
Hunter.
either, honestly.
I just remember like.
Go ahead.
No, I think you probably have a better recollection.
So the reason why Bounty Hunter became a really big part, like in where I like for my game library, was I had one of the dumbest issues of a February Nintendo Power,
I know what
where
you're
they
talking
decided, yeah, it's the Valentine's Day, the freaking special, where they're like, you know who's like the best actual power couple in gaming? Samus Aran and Jango Fett.
Yeah, I was
I
just reading
remember
the
that.
same thing.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Oh
And-
man.
And I was like, this is coming off of like, I was
Pretty
was
sure
really
Game
big into
Informer made the same thing with Samus and Jango Fett at the
Yeah.
time. I seem to remember that.
Look,
Give
I'm
that
just
10
waiting
10
for-
more years and Master Chief would come into there.
Oh yeah.
I'm just waiting for the new Metroid game where Samus is running a bail bonds, and you have to like
There you go.
hunt people down that just like are on bail and decided to just split.
Yeah.
Federation's not what it used to be. But
So the Trade Federation's where it's at.
yeah, they get to
Okay.
block a whole planet for free.
I can see it now. Star Wars Trade Federation Force.
Oh,
Yeah.
That sounds good. Okay, so the
I
Bounty
would love-
Hunter game.
Yeah.
You can
I
play a
would love
droid.
to play
He plays-
as the
he plays-
base fucking.
You play as
Anakin.
Gungans. You kick around a droideka as a bunch of Gungans.
Trade Federation Force, my god.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
So-
Okay, so the Bounty Hunter game, that one. Okay, I actually did play it. So two things. I played the update re-release on the more modern PS5. Two things. It would be a good game. I heard the old version's controls are super janky, and frankly, even the updated controls are janked. Shooting's kind of weird. The hitboxes are. It's so unbalanced. It's like I love all the different weapons, but you'll blow yourself up way too often. The explosives. There's like a million enemies. I couldn't make it through. I think the halfway point of the prison level because, and from what I saw later, it just gets even goofier because they just spawn ever more enemies. Like they did not balance it, which it's like a corridor shooter with a million dudes in the corridor. I will note, I actually just saw the Mandalorian and Grogu. It was bad, but it copied so much of the plot from the freaking Bounty Hunter game. At least some of the plot points. Like, yeah, it's
So-
yeah. It's the
Yeah,
better
like
version of
anything
Mandalorian and Grogu. Like the arena are working for the Hutts and yada yada. Or the side
Yeah.
quest.
So
Yeah, I
I
remember.
only recently played Bounty Hunter. I bought it on, I think I got a GameCube copy recently from a used game store. And all I really remember about it is I couldn't get past this one section early in the game. I couldn't figure out what they wanted me to do. But I did like the lighting engine in the game. I thought it had pretty decent lighting.
Yeah, I think it did.
I also remember that prison level, and I remember as a kid, I was like kind of pissed off that like none of the prisoners were worth a bounty.
Well, I mean, the bounty was already turned in. They already
Yeah,
got
I
turned
mean, as an
into prison.
adult, I recognize that, but there's like 3 bounties that you were supposed to collect. So who was wanted?
So for that game specifically, as a kid I plugged in a lot of hours for it. Like now that's been a while, so I don't remember like all of them. But I do remember like spending a lot of time just scanning all the like characters you're wandering around in order to, find out which ones actually do have bounties. And some of them are pretty funny. Like I remember like a lot of them in when you break out of the Coliseum because the game stumbles in like the idea that Django just accidentally gets put into a Coliseum fight where your equipment is basically lost. They did do a little Metroid there where Django loses a bit of his equipment, then you have to fight that creature in the arena. Then when you bust out of there and you're still tailing your mark, they decide to give you side bounties that you can just collect along the way. And some of them, I think one of them, like it was a dude that he was well, I think he was laundering money away from if I remember correctly, it was the company that basically like made like toilet paper and stuff like
So
that.
you're, so you're
So
saying the game is jam packed with glup shittos?
it's Glub Shido hunting the game effectively. And you go up against the edgier, like like in Metal Gear Rising, you have like like you have like Lieutenant Armstrong. He's like, right, you don't understand. Like,
He's a senator.
My world order is gonna have like only the strong survive. You have that in the equivalent of the antagonist of the game, who's been another outcasted Mandalorian, but he's like tougher and he's more ruthless and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty funny that ended up being like the main antagonist overall, or at least your rival for the
So you're
main part.
fighting Shadow the Mandalorian?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You both get guns this time. So I always thought that was a very. It was kind of funny that it was the first time I realized that they tried jam packing like a bunch of like glup shitos into the actual story, and then after that, like Count Dooku's like, Django, you performed wonderfully. Now I have another bounty that you should take, and then that's supposed to set up into episode. It's directly from episode 2. And
I'd
so
feel honored if you were part of the Cornerian army.
yeah, so and then he immediately gets sent off to with Zan to go and effectively try to hunt down Padme. So I thought that was pretty funny that Django goes through this entire ordeal of apparently taking out the lesser of the two evils between him and the edgier Mandalorian just to get roped up into another bounty. And so
Well, I mean,
like,
that's how things go. You get a job.
Mhm.
Life goes on.
Oh, sorry. About that, like, yeah, that's kind of the whole plot. He's like, I need to get this bounty, but in order to do that, I have to go to this other guy who will tell me where this other guy is, and I need to go to this other guy. But to get to that guy, I need to break into a maximum security prison, kill everyone to get this one person. That's how he meets Sam, and it just goes on and on.
Well, I'm pretty sure I watched Dog the Bounty Hunter do the same thing, so.
But
To
then
be fair, for a long time, I actually kind of thought that this game was going to be divided up between Django and Boba. So I kept like expecting, like at some point we're going to switch over to like playing Boba Fett, but that never happened.
it gives Boba Fett's backstory pretty well. Apparently, told Django, you need to stop focusing on the Republic and get it settled down. And then female Watto dies, and Django's like, maybe son. And yeah, so it kind of did that, I guess. gave us his origin story at least.
Okay. All right. Unless does anyone else have anything further to say about Bounty Hunter?
Thinking back, why did Jango Fett show his face to everybody and then go back and say, "Hey, Mandalorians don't show their face"?
I think it may have been like either a subset or maybe an older custom, because I know in the Mandalorian he's like in a cult.
Well, yeah, they
essentially.
have those reformed Mandalorians who are always showing their face and stuff, but Jango, he was just like hanging out on that clone planet and talking to Obi-Wan.
Depending on whether or not you like the Legends versions of the Mandalorians or the new ones that Disney is making, you can kind of infer the idea that Jango was typically outcasted in the Legends, at least, because he decided to take up bounty hunting, which the actual clans themselves think is a very lesser, like, petty thing to do. They should be united in fighting for conquest instead of for capital or for money and everything. And but Django was a part of a subset that didn't really believe all that, and they kind of dropped a lot more of their customs. But he thought that being a Mandalorian was good publicity, effectively, and
He's
it
just a
worked pretty
simple
well.
man trying to find his way in the universe.
Yeah.
Well, I
Now,
mean,
to
he
be
did
fair,
die
the
fighting a Jedi,
Mandalorians.
Race
so
as simple
So
man finding his way in the universe and raising his son slash self-replicating clone.
His perfect clone, yeah.
Hey,
but I mean, he died fighting a
well,
Jedi, so he made it up to his culture.
Yeah. To be fair, the Mandalorians themselves as a people kind of been like rebooted like 2 or 3 times over the course of Star Wars lore. I mean, you
oh
had like
yeah.
the Marvel Comics version, and then you had the Legends version that kind of was developed in the 90s, and then you had a revised version of that after, the prequels started coming out. So,
Yeah, so I think
Also the
if
Old
we're
Republic version.
oh yeah, I went really deep into the Old Republic version. Those are my favorites. But if and then there's a bunch of different sections of Mandalorian clans, and this one at least does a little tie-in with Disney's new version, is that they are like the huge, like zealots that everyone treats as like really, really weird and strange. So that's kind of the reason. Like Django just seems like he was much more adjusted to galactic living, as since the Mandalorians were no longer what they once were. And it gets really convoluted with the Clone Wars stuff because I lost track of what the heck is going on on Mandalore itself.
Very metropolitan Mandalorian.
Okay, with everything with Death Watch and stuff is just I was like, I can't follow this. It's there's too many like weird things. They're so disconnected.
I kind of stopped keeping up with Star Wars lore around the time when the Clone Wars TV show came out because I don't know, Dave Filoni just kept introducing or changing so many things so often. I was like, man, I can't keep up with it.
I
um,
mean, the show itself is really good. I'll say that.
yeah. All right, so let's talk about Star Wars Racer Revenge, the sequel to Episode 1 Racer that no one seems to remember.
I remember it. I played it very recently.
Yeah, they had a re-release like a couple years ago.
I only
It's
know
okay.
it exists.
It's all right. I go ahead.
Huh? Oh, was that? I guess I was just gonna say, like, it's not bad. It's fine. It just doesn't have nearly as much content as the first one. And I kind of felt like it was. I just wanted more. I think there's only 4 or 5 planets on it, if I remember right.
There's not very many levels, no.
Yeah, it felt like I get it. It probably didn't have nearly as much of a budget as the first one, but it felt like it just didn't have nearly as much stuff in it as the first one.
Well, the
My
first one had a lot of tracks that were just the same tracks from before, but with different routes in them. Because there was like even a lot of tracks where you could see where the route switches in between different versions of the track.
Even if you don't count those, though, I think there's like 10 or 11 different planets. I might be wrong, but I feel like there was just way more planets and way more racers in the first one.
I'm
the
not trying to
levels
argue that-
themselves felt a lot crazier, and like the freaking level up in the sky and the one in like the asteroid prison where you're going through like they just felt a lot more creative than the second one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not trying to argue that there was less content. I'm just saying that they were pretty good in like reusing a lot of different things, and that was a really good way to make a bunch of different tracks really quickly.
Oh yeah.
So my favorite thing about Revenge is that lore-wise, the story is that Sebulba is trying to get revenge specifically on Anakin, who is his Attack of the Clones self right now. And for some reason, yeah, and for some reason, the Jedi Order totally approved Anakin to sign off and become a racer again. And if you pick him, you see his giant, Hayden Christensen body poking out of his pod. It's almost as if he didn't redo it. He just went back to his old machine, and now Hayden Christensen is just like super top heavy on top of his pod racer, and I was just dying when I saw it.
Well, I
It looks
remember
so bad. I'm like, how did the Jedi Order sign off on this? Yoda, what gives?
I
You guys
remember in
need
the
money?
book
Needed the
there was like this
credits,
whole
we
plot
do.
about Anakin like racing some other things like illegally, and it was supposed to be super dangerous or whatever.
They're
And
televising
the
it,
only
though.
other thing I remember about that is there's like these like bug clones of things that were called car pods that were part of the plot.
Yeah, I barely remember the story of Racer Revenge. I bought it on the PlayStation 2 Classic on the PlayStation 3, and I think I've only ever played it like 3 times.
I was really interested in the fact that they had such detailed profiles of all the racers, as well as the fact that there was, for some reason, they figured out how everyone's pod racer, like the make, the how the engine worked, like what made it unique. Like there was even like they made up like so many companies and industry names just for like all these glup shittos. All their pods and their machines have a unique history, and sometimes they have really unique like mechanics. And I was like, you guys really thought about this for pod racing revenge. It's like
They
it's
were
cool,
so
but
close.
dang.
They were so close to just making Wipeout.
At least they
Yeah.
cared about what they were doing enough to do that.
Well, at least the
Yeah.
writers did.
It was-
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you might one day win a trivia night on Star Wars by drawing out that Racer Revenge knowledge.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so next we're going to talk about Star Wars Jedi Starfighter.
This I have played, ironically enough. Like I missed Starfighter, but I loved Jedi Starfighter. So a lot of experience with that. My favorite was the bomber.
I've never played it, so you're on the spot.
All right. Yeah, for this one, they introduce Jedi Master Adi Gallia to basically test out the Jedi Starfighter that gets showed prominently in Episode 2. And it's what's unfortunate is that Adi Gallia comes in the Clone Wars, and she gets done dirty, in my opinion, if you haven't seen that episode. But instead of
Wonder, your mic is not working right. I can't hear you.
Oh, he sounds super far away.
Echo.
you're gonna have to get a little closer to the mic.
You said that the
It-
Jedi's name is Adi Gallia?
Yeah.
She was in, I think she was in the Jedi Power Battles game too, if I remember right.
Yes, Adi Gallia had a red lightsaber.
She was in the Obi-Wan
in-
game too, I think also.
Yeah, she had a red lightsaber in the original release of Jedi Powered Battles. And funny enough, she has lightning powers in Jedi Starfighter. So maybe,
Oh, yeah.
maybe she's
Okay.
becoming a Sith Lord.
She's the squid head.
Yep.
Yeah, she has
Yeah.
like weird squid hair, and in that game they gave her a blue lightsaber. I think they decided to steer away from red because Sith.
For some
But yeah, that
reason, when I first played Jedi Power Battles, it looked red, but for some reason I thought it was supposed to be pink, and it was just the PlayStation graphics were crap. But I guess it was red. Yeah.
I kind of made the same assumption. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Not after the Darth Maul event. There's no way.
But apparently there was.
Yeah. Lo and behold.
Yeah, so I actually have played Jedi Starfighter myself too. I actually played it to completion. I bought it I think 4 years ago, and it was during the COVID lockdowns and stuff. So I decided to play that during the lockdown. I had fun with it. It's no Rogue Squadron, I can tell you that much. Certainly not, but it was fun. I recall it being surprisingly hard. Now I thought the story was interesting because it was all about stopping some sort of body melting chemical weapons thing that's being
The
developed.
hex weapons. Those
Yeah.
things were dangerous.
Oh, and that's how it leads into Splatoon.
That's
They're
It
safe now.
does star a Squid Girl.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what really happened to Camino.
Okay, we're gonna take these weapons that melt people. They're gonna what?
They're cloners. They're a kid
Yeah.
now, but some say
But yeah,
they're
then they
squid
just
now.
practice with the ink.
Yeah.
What could
And
possibly go wrong?
yeah.
Okay,
I do
Bubsy.
know from a development standpoint that apparently Jedi Starfighter was pretty rushed. There's actually
It's
42.
probably like the first one then.
Yeah, there was 42 incomplete levels that have been found
Holy
in the game's
whoa,
file.
42.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's insane.
That's a lot on the cutting room floor.
Holy,
Wait,
that's
wait, you mean
I-
Star Fox
actually, I
2?
have to be honest. That does sound like they were just trying to do way too much. Anyway, that is a lot of fucking levels.
Well, I mean, to be fair, some of them might be more than likely test levels, but yeah, there's 42 unused levels in the
I thought
game.
you said 42. I mean, 22 is
Well,
still
it
a
was
lot. I
40.
thought you said
Yeah.
42.
Wow.
I heard 42.
I heard. I'm
Yeah,
like
42
42.
is what I
Like,
heard.
holy crap, that's a huge game.
Yeah, I heard that, and I was thinking it was like a Star Fox 2 situation where most of them are just different numbers of enemies in a blank level.
Yeah,
Like challenge levels.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, a lot of them are very much incomplete, but yeah, they had a lot more levels planned than what was intended because I think there's only 15 actual levels in the campaign, but there's a lot of just incomplete levels that are just sitting there in the data files. And but yeah, it's one of the other things I thought was kind of odd about this game was kind of how disjointed it feels, because it kind of almost feels like they tie it into episode 2 only because they have to, because the episode 2 stuff with Geonosis and stuff comes in very abruptly and very late in the game. And it's only 3 levels, and I always thought that Geonosis looked really washed out in this game because it's almost more like white sand than the reddish orange that it had in the movie.
It sounds
The
like it
thing
has
about
the
them-
same problems as the first one.
I think a lot of the games that were basically kind of being developed around episode 2 instead of solidly after episode 2 didn't have a lot of the ironclad materials to work with, because there is a stark difference of accuracy when we get to Rogue Squadron 3, when they start pulling out old references and everything. So I think I just think that after the movie, after episode 2, I just noticed that games that are being developed afterwards have a really really strong sense of accuracy. You can see between Battlefront 1 and 2 is the main difference, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. I will say
Jedi
though, I did have a
Starfighter.
lot of fun with Jedi Starfighter. But it's definitely kind of more of doing more of its own thing. It does focus a lot of time on the character Nim, who's a space pirate or whatever, and it kind of
He
wraps
is,
up
yeah.
a lot of lingering plot threads that he had from the first Starfighter game, from what I recall.
Does
Yeah,
it talk
he was
about
one
how
of the
you-
main characters in the first game. Yeah.
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 In fact, I think between all the finished levels of the game, I think you play as Adi Gallia for 7 levels and Nim for 6.
Yeah, there's quite a few NIM levels, and he has his own personal bomber.
Yeah.
Does it talk about how he bred a race of super intelligent rats?
I think they missed that.
Yeah. But But yeah, that's
Better
my.
not talk about
I'm gonna play
that.
as Miss Frisbee in the Jedi Starfighter game.
But yeah, that's my experience with Jedi Starfighter. I thought it was fun, but it kind of felt more like it was trying to more obligatorily tie into Episode 2 than more naturally trying to do it. But it was fun, and we got to stop some chemical weapons.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
I also, one other thing I want to say, I also think it's kind of funny how they introduce like the bad guy in this game. I can't remember what his name is, but he's
I
like,
remember.
yeah, he's
Uh,
like an evil dude that's working directly for Count Dooku. And they have a scene early on in the game where they have him like working with like the Trade Federation guys, like some Nemodians, and
Mhm.
they like they use like the chemical weapon to vaporize those Nemodians. And I always kind of felt like it was like the developers' way of like, yeah, we're done with that Episode 1 era stuff. Bye bye Nemodians, watch them get melted. Now we're
Oh,
doing
yeah,
separatist stuff now.
like that vial could kill 300 Wookiees or 3 Nemoidians. Observe.
That
His name was
dastardly Glup
Toph.
Shido.
Psyop
Yeah, he
against
had
all
his
the
own
Shidos.
mercenary army.
Yeah. So yeah, anyone else have anything else to say about Jedi Starfighter?
It sounds like they just did not like Newt Gunray, and so they're like, haha, maybe with this thread someone can pick it up and Gunrays from the franchise. Muhahaha. That didn't happen, of course.
Oh, one other thing. Apparently there was plans for a Starfighter 3. There was actually a teaser for it at the end of Jedi Starfighter, but it never got made.
Oh.
Ooh, that
Unfortunate.
sucks.
That would have been interesting if they did one tied around Revenge of the Sith. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, I think-
what they did.
I think that was like the plan. They were going to do a third Starfighter game.
Oh wow.
I was really upset that they never made like a video game adaptation around all the Starfighter stuff that was brought about by the 2D Clone Wars, because like Size 10 has like one of the coolest
Oh,
Jedi
yeah.
Starfighters.
Oh yeah.
And I
He
love his like
appears-
clone armor, and like he and other clones are like, jumping through space to board like, the Trade Federation carriers. Like, this is so cool. How come that's not in a Starfighter game? This is awesome.
Giving the Trade
So-
Federation back their bomb.
It's too popular.
You're right. You're right.
All right. So let's now talk about Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones on the Game Boy Advance. Anyone play that one?
I have
did
not.
No, but
Actually, I have.
Oh.
It's not good.
Oh.
It's slaughter not just the men, but the women, the children too.
I hate them.
But yeah, it's mostly like a platformer, and there's like some sections where you do like a rail shooting thing, and it's all just kind of blurry because it's that kind of graphical style where it is almost like Mortal Kombat-ish. But I'm pretty sure they didn't just digitize pictures. It's just that they used like JPEGs that they really scaled poorly for the game.
Yeah. All right, then let's talk about the other Game Boy Advance game, New Droid Army.
That was a game.
That
Yeah.
exists?
Yes, it's called Star Wars: The New Droid Army, and I don't know hardly anything about this one, but I believe this is the one where the game ends with Anakin killing Dooku, and they had to do like a whole Star Wars novel to explain that wasn't really Dooku that he
Are you
killed.
kidding me? They made a novel.
Oh,
They
Jedi
made a
way.
novel to explain the ending of a Game Boy Advance game. Are you serious?
Yes, yes,
I mean,
and it was like
That's
They had-
dedication.
They jumped
You
the
know-
shark though.
At this
Yeah.
point, I realized that Star Wars was the original Halo.
yeah. But yeah, they did a whole novel afterwards to explain away like, no, Anakin didn't really kill Dooku in this Game Boy Advance game. It was actually Dooku's never before seen personal body double.
That's
Anakin
hilarious.
killed.
That can't be
Wow.
real. That has to be a joke.
That's a novel, really.
I unfortunately believe it because of all the legend stuff with Palpatine having clones all over the place and Luke having to constantly kill them and turn
I
to the
just-
dark side, then go
Dooku
back, then
returned.
kill another
Somehow.
one, then go to the dark side, then go
That
back.
is-
Somehow.
That is just hilarious to me that there is a book that was written because there was an obscure Game Boy Advance game that it sounds like most people probably never played, where Anakin killed Count Dooku, and they had to explain that. That is insane to me. That is so insane to me. It's like really funny though.
Yeah.
Someone's like, "Oh no, we have to explain why he killed Count Dooku in this like little game that no one played."
Par for the
Until
course.
Disney took over, like everything that got made for Star Wars was canon.
Mhm.
They tried to never retcon anything, including the most ridiculous shit.
Points for dedication, but that's so funny to me.
LucasArts would go back and forth on being good with their consistency and just not giving a single crap about consistency. It would be it's a very strange history with the supplemental Star Wars material.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly, Duke, very, very misused. Like, we really needed more of him because he was the most
I
interesting
agree.
character in the prequels.
I absolutely
I
agree. He was the most. Yeah, I think underused actor too. Like you got freaking Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
I kind of wish
honestly, I think
Dooku was the villain for all 3 of the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah. No, he should have been a Jedi in Phantom Menace, and I think he was. Just he wasn't actually in the movie.
Yeah,
It would have been
but...
that would have been great to sprinkle him in with.
He should have been
Phantom
some
Menace.
Jedi in Episode 1, and then Episode 2, he's like doing shady stuff, and then he's like fully exposed by the end of Episode 2 that he's a Sith or what. Yeah, that really should have been what they'd done.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah.
really didn't show enough how he just believed that he was the good guy. Like,
Yes.
he never believed that he was doing things for the wrong reasons. He always believed that he was on the right side of everything.
You see, that's one of the things I found so compelling about the Separatists and Count Dooku, particularly, is they legitimately felt like they had a grievance with the Republic.
I mean, some of them did, because, I mean, the Republic, even back then, was, as Freya once put it, a stagnant beast laboring for breath. This inefficient, corrupt society, and they had problems. It's like, oh, okay, fair enough. Like, we're going to separate. Like, oh, that escalated quickly.
The Federation's grievances were totally fair, but their answer was not. That's basically it.
Goddamn Republic not letting me build my McNukes.
We're gonna go torture.
Well, they got all the bankers involved, so that's when everything goes to
gosh.
And all these like tech guilds, and also the Trade Federation, just like, we're gonna build this massive droid army. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, funny enough, there's actually a Star Wars novel that explains why the Trade Federation has an army in the first place, and it's because they were kept being harassed by pirates.
Pirates, yeah.
Yeah, and they kept demanding protection by the Republic, and the Republic kept, either delaying or was inadequate in their response with the piracy problem. So eventually, the Trade Federation just started building their own army to protect their own interests.
This is why you don't alienate the Ferengi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, except protect their own interests eventually turned into, blockading a planet.
We just are interested in the planet.
Also, all the Naboo and all the Gungans will all just send them to the same camp. Let's go. Come on, everybody. Single file. Let's go. Let's go.
I think one of my favorite
dialogue.
We're getting a return on our investment one way or the other.
I think one of my favorite.
Sorry, go on.
I think one of my favorite moments of like the original or the prequel trilogy was when, the Chancellor was like, "It's okay, Anakin, you can kill him," and Dooku just turns around with the what stare.
He's
like, "Sir, I thought I was your right hand. Why are you telling this man to murder me?"
Well, you just lost both of your hands. You're no longer my right hand.
Dooku got done dirty.
Do it.
I don't know.
Grievous was already a thing. Like, he could have got new hands.
I don't know if it was intentional, but kind of the impression I got, and especially in the Phantom Menace and even in the other movies, is that even though the Trade Federation had an army, they'd never really conducted a war before, and they weren't thinking like an actual military. They were thinking like businessmen, which is why they botched everything up.
Yeah.
That would explain a lot. I mean,
It's
also
kind of the
novels
vibe I
they
got.
use.
They're just like, oh, we'll just send all of our freaking drones in to deal with everything. Like I got the impression they didn't really understand how to actually conduct a war,
Robot
and they were
printers
kind of
are
like
brr.
convinced to. I kind of get that vibe in the second and the third movie too.
That's
Like Newt
kind of how.
Gunray does not seem like a military commander at all.
Well,
I could
well,
definitely
a lot of
see that. Like, I can imagine, like, in a meeting, they're like, everything will be fixed as soon as the Queen signs the treaty. And I could just imagine someone in the boardroom like, well, what if she doesn't
What?
sign?
What if she
And then they
doesn't
just have,
sign?
like,
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
they're not. Yeah, they're
Just
not going
eject
to
him.
war. Yeah, they're not going to war. They're just taking hostages and just hoping that
Like,
it works.
because in all those different Star Wars movies, you actually do see the different forces using strategy. But in the Phantom Menace, like the Trade Federation doesn't use any tactics or anything. Like they like engage the Gungans on an open field out in the middle of nowhere.
It's
They are
just
using a
those two.
tactic. It's just Zerg Rush.
Like they
Yeah.
fall, like the Trade Federation, that movie falls for like really obvious like guerrilla like ploys and stuff, and they're completely caught off. Like I got the impression like they were just completely ill equipped to actually conduct a war, and they
Yeah,
screwed
the-
themselves
That-
over.
It was just the two. It was just the two Doros just basically being like like yelled at by Palpatine like Saturday morning cartoon style. While they're like, we don't do these kind of things. What do you
Look at
expect?
these men. We
D1s
are
are
soldiers.
derp.
I'm not
No,
really
there
sure
are
if
two
that's
of them.
I'm not really sure if that was intentional, but that's always kind of the vibe I got from.
I think that was poignant. I think
I think
Lucas
it-
meant that.
And then, you know, in the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, you know, actual freaking military forces like get involved, and then like the Trade Federation's just in way over their head.
Yeah,
So-
I think the droids they were using were security forces, not war.
Yeah,
So,
you're right. Yeah, the B
speaking
ones.
speaking of war, let's talk about probably one of my favorite prequel games, Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
All right.
Oh, I
Yeah.
rented
This is
this a
the
while
tank game,
back.
right?
Yes.
This is the tank
There's
game.
tanks
Yep.
in it. It's not just a tank game though.
I spent so much time in the tank. It basically is. It's a hover tank game to me. I was like
I
the
love
final
the-
boss.
I
Oh my
think
god.
roughly
Oh,
half
yeah.
the levels are in a hover tank, but there's gunship levels, there's the Maru beast levels, there's a few levels where you're running around on foot too. There's speeder bike levels.
There's also a walker. Those few walker.
Yeah, there's
levels as well.
walker levels. It's basically like the Battle for Naboo game with all the different vehicles, but like kicked into overdrive.
Yeah.
That walker was nuts.
Mhm.
It's like, where
Yeah.
is this thing in the rest of the movie? Come on, bring this out. It's got everything.
And this game probably had way more influence on my project more than most other games.
I freaking love the Clone Wars game. I rented this game originally after I had beat Rogue Squadron 2 and 3 on the GameCube, and then I rented this, and I absolutely loved this game. I played through the game from pretty much start to finish multiple times. I could never beat the final boss. The final boss was just too hard for me, but
Oh, the Dark Reaper, yeah.
Yeah.
That crazy thing.
The ghost UFO ship, yeah. Dark
Yeah.
Force ship. That was crazy. I was basically like kind of like having like I do thank this game for one thing, and it basically made me go out and get another Star Wars game, which was Knights of the Old Republic, and I'm like, okay,
Oh,
finally,
yeah.
like an actual digestible game.
But yeah, I really really love this game. I love the music. I like how they remixed a lot of the episode 2 music. I love the different planets you visit on it. For example, I really liked Raxus Prime in
Yeah,
this
a lot
game.
of planets that ended up in a bunch of other Star Wars stuff. They had their origins in that game. I think
Yeah.
Renvar also came from that game too.
It was the first time I heard of it, yeah.
But
Just a
yeah,
nice
like,
ball.
my favorite part of the game was like, well, it made me love the hover tank, but I love flying the LAA, the gunship.
Yeah, that thing was
Yeah.
awesome.
The freaking
Yeah.
beams.
And the gunship
Oh.
was great.
Yeah, all the different guns you could use on like the four ion cannons or all the rockets, normal blasters. It felt so overpowered. It was great. I was like, this is the best ship ever.
Yet the hardest
still have
level in that
rockets,
game
too,
is a
too.
gunship level.
Which one?
The Renvar one with the you switch to a tank, I think, in the last part of the level, but it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
one with when you fight the ghost things.
Oh,
That
those
level's
things.
really
That was
fucking hard.
crazy. Mm.
Yeah,
I
it
loved how
was.
high Anakin sounded in every one of his voice lines.
Yeah, the voices aren't that great in it.
Oh, yeah,
That
it's like-
Anakin was riding on some good cush to get through that
Yeah.
hover tank business.
He sounded like Master. The wars are going to be over. If only a video game plot would happen. Anakin, look, a video game plot is happening. Master, I'm so excited. Yeah, he sounded bored. Very bored.
I think it's funny also that like 90% of Obi-Wan's dialogue in this game is just him going, Anakin, wait!
Wait!
Anakin, wait!
Right.
Watch
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
Anakin! What are you doing?
I mean, isn't that true for like all the original movie or the prequel movies as well?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I hate it when he does that.
It's a lot accurate. I think they just took what they saw in the prequel and did what they did with the expanded universe and just used that as the basis for the characters. It's like
Well, folks, that's
Anakin,
game over for this
Anakin,
episode of Retro
my young
Reloaded. Thanks for
Padawan,
joining me
don't
on this
use
retro adventure.
drugs.
If you
while
love today's
driving.
trip down memory
I'm
lane,
sorry,
then consider
Master,
helping
it
me keep
won't
the nostalgia
happen
alive by
again.
supporting me on Patreon
Now,
at
this is
patreon.com/retro-reloaded. You'll get early
This is not
episodes,
the high
bonus
ground.
content,
The-
and a
this is not
chance
the
to
high
pick the
ground
next
you're
game
looking
that we
for,
reload.
Anakin.
Feel free to let me know your thoughts about the podcast.
Another-
Until next
from-
time,
okay.
keep
It
those
sounds like you
controllers
found the high
charged.
ground.
I was just gonna say another
found the
really
high
cool
voice.
thing about that game is not only is it like a really awesome just kind of like single player game, but there's multiple multiplayer modes in it that are all really cool. And for years my friends and I would play those. Like even after Battlefront came out, we'd still go back and play that game.
Yeah,
Good multiplayer. I used to play it sometimes with my dad, and it was fun. But yeah, I really this was like one of the first like Star Wars games that I really started getting really invested in, like the whole prequel era. I just really liked the story in this game, and I really liked the Kashyyyk levels too. I thought those were fun as well.
That inspired
yeah,
all the
getting,
Soria levels in my game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Tricky, the Mark
yeah.
Tricky.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling when I start seeing all the Earthwalkers moving out in in formation. I'm like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. Hang on.
Yeah.
A lot of that game's DNA ended up in my stuff.
yeah.
But you don't have a level where you have to run away from like a force siphon blast wave.
Not yet. I do have plans for a level where you have to escape a supernova.
Okay.
Maybe you should have Fox sound like he's pretty high in one of them.
Oh,
Crystal
he's
introduces
hanging
that
around those grub
good
tubs
grass.
too much.
Yeah.
Fox, lay off the grub tubs.
Hey, Tricky,
Are you
what's
gonna
in these
make it so-
mushrooms?
Whoa.
Just
Are
be
you
like,
gonna make
oh,
it
hey
so you
man,
get
what's
swallowed by
the
the supernova
Crystal,
and then-
anyone ever told you that you're blue?
just be like, oh man, what's the new strain? Oh, it's Fox McCloud.
Okay.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
Okay,
so if you
so-
get swallowed by the supernova, do you have to go fight paper airplanes?
Maybe.
Then go to the giant slot machine in the sky.
I still think
Ah.
it's funny that like James McCloud in F-Zero is technically like the exact same James McCloud from Star
Yep.
Fox.
Yeah, they
Just
kind
in
of
a different
imply it's
dimension.
him after he went through the black hole.
I mean, he came back in that whale for a little
And
bit.
he has a new family, new wife and kid, better than the old wife and kid. If you see the
Things
interviews,
are looking up for James.
yeah, James has a new family. If you watch the interviews in AX and GX, he don't care.
Oh man.
Yeah, meanwhile, Fox is like breaking up with the mother of his kids and becoming a racer, and
Oof.
his wife's
Um,
giving herself a
I-
really
I-
stupid name.
I think he got a couple of facts mixed up, but I mean, the feel is basically the same.
So
Well, I say that all the endings to Commander canon.
Okay, right, yeah, that answer.
so let's talk about Republic Commando now.
Oh, another
Yes.
I forgot about that one.
I love that
Completely-
game.
This game
It's 'cause I
rocks.
kind of consider
I
that one
recent-
more towards Revenge of the Sith, but yeah, it's technically Attack of the Clones because that's where it
I
starts.
recently played through this game, and I do not get why everybody glazes it.
Oh, all
Presentation.
right then.
Go ahead. Share why.
Let's begin.
Okay, like there is no impact from like any of the weapons. I did like how like the different attachments change your weapon and all that, and like the fourth weapon being something that you just like pick up. You know, that was cool. I also like the visor effects. You know, that seems really immersive. But something I don't like is that how like none of the weapons seem to have any sort of effect outside of like when you finally get their health bar all the way down and they explode. Also, the stronger droids, they just have a longer health bar. There's nothing really different about fighting them.
Well, it's fun.
With the super battle droids, you kind of have to get up to them with the knife.
And yeah, the anti-armor attachment and the ECDs.
Yeah, I usually just turn to putting on the sniper rifle and shooting at the super battle droids until they exploded.
I'd go after them with the knife.
Although
Yeah,
they
I
do
can-
have
I
a
can
lot of
see that.
firepower.
Republic Commando does tend to turn a lot of its like harder bosses into plasma sponges. I can get that. I think its presentation does it for me, but if it doesn't like, tip the scale for you, then there's nothing really that can be done about it.
Yeah, something I really didn't like is how short all of the levels were.
I would agree. It's a way too short of a game in general. Yeah, I
Well, I
agree.
mean, like-
But that to me is just like I just want more. Like because it's so good, I want more.
It might have been better if like the levels had more of a girth to them, but it always felt like you run down a hallway and then there's a loading screen.
I think they got. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did they get rid of the loading screens in the re-release?
Not really.
I just played it on PC,
I think
and I
they're
don't
just
think that's
Probably not
really
then.
changed.
But I
Yeah,
also
I
do
don't
agree
agree.
with you that the load, like especially like it always bothered me in the opening cutscene. There's like 3 loading screens in the cutscene before you even start the game. Like man, that would have been cool if this was all seamless, but
Truly
you know,
the Sonic 06 of Star Wars games.
technology of the
I
time.
would not say that. I would not say
No,
that.
no.
You're right,
no,
I couldn't float on a
I feel like
box.
the Obi-Wan game is the Sonic 06 of Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of janky and weird.
I will say one of the levels that really kind of stood out to me outside of like the Geonosis opening, I really liked the ghost ship levels where you're exploring the abandoned whatever that type of ship is called.
The assault ship.
The
Republic assault ship.
acclimator. I think they're called acclimators.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just like how you just run into like the other clones on there and they're like, hey, you're one of those stupid better clones.
Yes,
Why
I
don't
am.
you go do something better? And then you're like,
You guys
shut
have
up. And they're like, okay.
You guys have individuality like a loser.
Yeah, we had our minds. You know,
Can't believe I forgot about
modified to
that
be
game.
obedient. But
My-
oh yeah, there's even a lightsaber you can find on that ship.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, and he comments like, "Oh yeah, it's a more elegant weapon." Bullshit.
Things have changed.
The reference, yeah.
Things have changed.
I do like the fact that at least, like at the very least, your squad does comment about like some of the weirder mechanics. Like when you actually pick up the slug thrower, I love the. It's either boss or fixer. Someone's like, "Who the heck still uses slug throwers?"
It's the boss, yeah.
It's
He's like,
boss,
who
okay,
uses
yeah.
slug throwers?
It's like,
I
yeah.
didn't think they were that nostalgic.
I think Scorch says something to the effect of, "How come the enemy's gun never works well against them?" Like it was like a video game
The
trope
banter
being,
from the whole team is really entertaining.
especially
funny because, like-
Scorch's car. He's funny.
After
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
they
the
have-
slug thrower for a while, somebody even says something about how like it doesn't actually fire projectiles; it just looks like it does. So they went through all this
yeah.
trouble designing a weapon that looks like a projectile weapon instead of just making a projectile weapon.
Those wily Trandoshans.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that I will mark against the game because I otherwise love it. The design, the character design, and that's something a friend of mine bagged on as well because the droids look like they have googly eyes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I
the
didn't like the
Trandoshans.
recolors of the droids.
The
Because,
B
like, you
ones
see-
don't look. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, it's just the Trandoshans. Like you've seen Trandoshans, you've seen like Bosk and a couple other characters in the movies and the TV shows, and then you look at them in the game, and I don't know about you guys, I see goblins.
They
Like
they
you
were
get
made
a
to look more.
goblin.
Yeah, everybody was made to look more
the
monstrous in
Trandoshans,
Republic
you mean?
Commando.
Yeah, the Trandoshans. Like you just give them like goggles and guns, and they're basically goblins.
It kind of reminds me of another thing with Star that's coming out soon.
Well, the Trandoshans, like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just biased because we keep talking about Star Fox, but they remind me of like the pilots that you see eject every now and then in the first Star Fox.
They're kind
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
there are a lot of lizards in there.
Yeah.
Lizard
Um,
racism.
Yeah. Now, forgive me. It's been a while since I played Republic Commando, but do you actually have squad commands in that game? Because
Yep.
I
Yes,
vaguely
Yep.
remember, like,
you cannot beat that game without commanding your squad because you are
You gotta coordinate.
very, very vulnerable.
That's one
I-
of the things I really liked about that game.
I remember, like even to this day, I used to be part of a Half-Life mod project. I used to be like a lead dev for it, and I remember like in one of the meetings, they were like we were like talking about like squad commands, and like Republic Commando got brought up like multiple times during that meeting, and it was like cited as like one of the few first-person shooters that actually had a really good squad command system.
Like, I don't know if I'd call it good, because I remember they would either follow my commands very autistically or absolutely ignore everything I fucking told them to do.
They listen to
The-
me. I don't know what to tell you.
The
I think
implementation.
the only time they seem to have trouble is when I tried to get them to revive me, but obviously fucking enemies are probably just blasting them while they're trying to
Yeah,
revive
it's like
me.
we'll get to you as soon as we're not being shot at. Give us a
Well,
second.
I mean, I would like
Commandos-
tell them to like hang back because I was gonna go and like destroy a whole bunch of stuff, so I didn't have to go saving them, and then they'd all fucking run up forward. Either that, or I would tell them to go take a position, and then they would just stay there, like no matter how far ahead I went.
I mean, again,
yeah.
like for me, everything worked just fine. You could like point at a area and be like, "Okay, secure this area," and they will actually like heal themselves if there's a back to tank nearby.
Yeah,
What
and this
Republic
might
com-
actually just be a issue with me because I was playing it on PC with like a
Maybe the PC
couple of mods
version's
to like
bugged.
It can be a bad
fix a
port.
couple of things.
I haven't played
So,
the
yeah.
PC version. I was under the impression they just re-released it recently, but I'm
They
not sure if
did.
that's true. Actually, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
They did.
I think so.
It was a
I haven't,
while
I haven't
ago.
played that one. I don't know. Maybe it's bugged. I've
The
only played
PC
the
version
Xbox
definitely
version.
hasn't been fixed because I had to do a lot of things to play it the way that I did.
So yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like
that
it
was
might have been a
something that didn't
botched
work well.
port.
A lot of Star Wars games are not strangers to having really rough ports.
Like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, which I still can barely get to work.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
God.
Oh,
But,
well, speaking of
that's an
X-Wing
older
versus
one.
TIE Fighter, when I was a kid, I saw that game in its expansion pack, Balance of Power, on the shelf, and for whatever reason, I bought Balance of Power, but not the original game.
Oh,
And so I installed Balance of Power
It just
on,
wouldn't
on
work.
my Windows XP, and I wanted to play it, but it was like, it requires X-Wing versus TIE Fighter to play it, and I was like, no! So I tried to deinstall it, and for whatever reason, it would not let me uninstall it from the...
Ouch. Whoa.
Well, at least
That
it
is
wasn't like the original
nuts.
marathon and broke your computer.
Oh jeez.
Wasn't there a recent mod for X-Wing versus Starfighter that like fixes a whole bunch of stuff and makes it playable on modern systems?
I believe so. Yeah,
I need to get that sometime, because I've never actually played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
it's a pretty
So,
cool game. It's more complicated than like normal Star. It's kind of like Free Space 2, actually.
Nice.
Alright.
It's starting to storm. It's starting to storm over here. If I completely just exit out, it's probably because my power went out.
Okay, thank you for the heads up, but hopefully that won't happen. Speaking of that, let's, unless there's anything else anyone wants to add about Republic Commando, let's move on to the Episode 3 games.
Yay.
All right.
All right.
Starting to get out of the golden age.
I liked a lot of episode 3 games.
Some nice stuff, but
I liked a lot of episode 3 games, though.
I don't think I played any other than Battlefront 2. Unfortunately, I do have to duck out, so I'm going to take my
alright.
leave. But nice meeting you all. Thanks for having me,
Yeah.
and looking forward to next time.
Thanks
Sure,
for joining.
sure.
Walking.
awesome
Yeah,
meeting ya.
be sure to plug your socials one more time before you leave, in case anyone wants to interrupt.
Well, I'm not really on anything at the moment,
Okay.
other than like personal Facebook and an X that I don't use.
Okay.
But if I do, I'll have them ready next time.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Thanks
for coming, man.
Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot, and see you guys next time.
All right. Later.
Good night.
Okay. So yeah, so let's talk about Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith for PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
it's a fun little game. And the
I
multiplayer is
really
even funner.
I had a lot of fun with episode 3.
Yeah, from what I saw of it, it looked pretty fun. Like it seems like a pretty solid action game, and like the multiplayer lightsaber duel is pretty fun too.
Sadly,
So
for
I-
some reason, my copy just no longer works. Like every time I put it in the Xbox, it just doesn't even start up. I don't know why.
Ah,
So I think I played it too much and it broke.
That happens to some of my Xbox games. The disc just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But
Um,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, for the longest time, I never actually owned it. It was at a friend's house. But whenever we were at there, I would always play it with them, and it was a fun time. I would play as Obi-Wan, and he would play as Anakin. And but we for whatever reason, we never actually got past like the opening part where you're supposed to be rescuing Palpatine. We never really got much further than that.
Huh.
It can be a little difficult to coordinate. Sometimes those mechanics can be a little unforgiving.
Yeah.
I would
Now, one
say. Oh, go on. You first.
Oh, I was going to say one interesting thing is they actually got the two voice actors from the 2D Clone Wars show to voice Obi-Wan and Anakin in this game.
They were
Yeah.
significantly better, yeah. They sounded better.
I was gonna say the golden age of Star Wars games is past, but at this point, the voice acting actually starts to become good in Star Wars games.
Yeah.
It starts to get better.
So I have a very poignant memory with episode 3 because my friend at the time, Jonathan, he actually he was having a birthday like get together at one point, and we were all playing episode 3. And my gift to him was I actually drew freeform without tracing a picture of General Grievous because I knew that was his favorite character from like the show and everything. And so like we would actually like I used a picture from episode 3, and then later when I would go to his house, he would actually frame that on the wall. So I was like, that felt pretty special. It's like, oh wow, you liked my drawing that much. So I think that was kind of formative for some
Right.
things.
You got a
Yeah.
spot on the fridge.
Yeah, pretty much.
One thing I do remember about the episode 3 game is it came out before the movie, and then quite a few of my friends got it, and then they were basically like, oh, I know what happens in the movie. And then when the movie came out, they're like, they lied.
My thing was like, okay, spoilers. Anakin becomes Darth Vader. Whoa, I can't believe it. Like that whole thing. I was like, who cares?
Yeah, I do remember. I think on my own, I actually got all the way up to the Jedi library level, and which was a pretty fun level, if I recall. I do know one of the interesting things about this game is it actually has like an alternate ending where you can.
Did they write a book to explain that away?
No, it's where Anakin
I'm
wins.
joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah, the ending where Anakin wins.
Is there a book to explain Starkiller killing Darth Vader?
No, I don't think.
No, there's a
I'm just
second. No,
joking.
there's a second game to explain why Starkiller killed Vader. They made a whole second game about it.
But
Oh, they did.
yeah, in some ways, I feel like that the episode 3 game is like a better version of the Jedi Powered Battles game.
Yeah,
Very much so.
That's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah.
Let's
like,
see. Go ahead.
Yes. I like how in the yeah, the two things. The alternate ending where he kills Obi-Wan, then he kills Palpatine, becomes the new evil. But I like the other. I like
My
how.
empire.
Yeah, there's another thing where basically, he become where there's actually a boss fight against Mace Windu, where Anakin didn't actually when he betrays him.
That was the thing my friends were spoiling before the movie came out, and then they were like really mad when that didn't happen in the movie.
They really want to see Hayden Christensen beat Samuel
Yeah, they were
L.
like,
Jackson.
"Oh man, Anakin like beats the crap out of Mace Windu," and then they're like, "That didn't happen." They were so upset. I remember them being so mad.
I
Can we
can't
just
remember being
appreciate-
disappointed that didn't happen either.
Can we just appreciate how Anakin Skywalker solos the entire Star Wars universe?
Yeah, that's kind of his thing.
Until Starkiller comes out.
Yeah,
And that's why he's the chosen one.
You were the chosen one.
Dark
But,
Killer was. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, balanced. 2 Jedi, 2 Sith. It's balanced.
It's
That's
such a
not-
small. It's such a small thing, but my favorite thing about the multiplayer is if you pick Old Man Ben, your
Oh,
best,
yeah.
like most complicated combo. The hardest move to pull off is the one where he just puts his saber up and one hit will kill you and your opponent wins.
Yep.
And I'm like, why is that the most difficult move to pull off as Old Ben? Like, I get the reference, but man, is it difficult to do?
Yeah. But yeah, it's I remember having a lot of fun playing with it, and I think it also got like a GBA and DS release that's quite a bit different from the main game. But
Well, after the episode 2 game, I don't think I would even want to try.
I think of my favorite. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
My favorite detail, I think, even though it's a small thing, is that in when you can get the different character costumes in multiplayer. I like that Anakin has one with the hood up. His eyes are yellow Sith, and he's got the red saber.
That there's a lot of fun unlockables in that game.
Yeah,
They even I think a General Grievous with the red lightsabers too.
that was sick, actually. Yeah.
Do that.
I think the other like strictly like episode 3 tie-in game was I think a plug and play game.
I think was it the one that had like a bunch of little games on it?
Yeah.
I think I actually remember that. There was one, if I remember right, there's one game in it where you're like a gunship, like carrying clone troopers around somewhere.
Yes.
Oh my god, I remember. Look, you've unlocked like something I haven't thought about in like 20 years. I remember that thing.
Oh yeah, I remember. I kind of remember that too. Actually, it's wild. Like I don't know. I played it so long ago at like my kindergarten. His mom got it, so I could like only barely make it past the first level of some of those. It was funny almost.
It was like a controller, like a self-contained like controller. I think that looked. I want to say it looked like a Jedi Starfighter or something.
I think the one that I think the one I remember was it was like Darth Vader's helmet was the controller, and
It might have had multiple different ones. God, this is so long ago. I'm like trying to remember. I remember playing as like a gunship. It's like a side-scrolling 2D view, and you like land and pick up clone troopers, and like you try to ferry them to the fight, like on the other side of the level or something.
You're talking about like the plug-in game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Darth Vader controller one. This is one of the few Star Wars games I played a lot of.
Yes, I play them. I like forgot about it because it's been so fucking long.
Oh my god, yeah. So it was literally a controller that had like Darth Vader's helmet in the middle, and it was like oddly like the A and B button were like colored like his respirator buttons on his control panel. It was dorky and weird.
That's
awesome. So there was the Clone Wars mini game. There's one where you were like Obi-Wan riding on the thing in Kashyyyk, and it was like a terrible endless runner.
There was that why you've been quiet this whole time? You're just waiting for the plug and play section?
No, I've been waiting for the Lego section.
It's like the plug and play is the best Star Wars game.
The greatest.
No, I've
Star
been waiting for the Lego section, but the plug and play was definitely, put a lot of hours into that.
Yeah,
had this-
there was also one other plug and play. Now that I think about it, I remember seeing it on store shelves, but I never bought it because it was way too expensive. But it was shaped. It had a lightsaber controller. You plug it into the TV, and basically you get into a one-on-one duel with General Grievous.
I had that one too.
Oh, how was it? Was it any good? I was.
I mean, 9-year-old me loved it to pieces. I haven't played it since I was a child, so I can't like vouch for its quality. But I beat all the different fights because it
Okay.
had like 10 or 12 of them. I think Grievous was near the end of the game.
Okay.
Dan over here is the plug and play master.
Listen, man, I was a 90s kid. Like, plug and plays were cheap gifts to children in the 2000s.
Next thing I know, you're going to be telling me that you actually beat the Scooby-Doo one.
No, but I did beat the Batman one and the Spider-Man one.
Oh, nice.
Oh, those, I
Shit,
remember
that's
those.
almost unplayable. Nice.
I bow.
Okay.
I bow. You guys are over here spending like over an hour talking about good Star Wars games, and I'm like, oh yeah, I played the terrible ones.
Okay, so
The
let's
true
go-
gamer.
Yes.
By the way,
True
for
gamer.
kicks and giggles, the Darth Vader one is $14.99 on eBay.
Oh wow.
Was there different versions of it other than the Darth Vader head? Because I don't remember the Darth Vader head controller. I feel like the one I had was a Jedi Starfighter. I remember it being all yellow, like Anakin's Starfighter.
I mean, we're talking about the heyday of licensed junk. I would be
I
like,
think they had different. I think it was the same games, but like different versions of the controller you could get. It's so long ago, I can't remember.
I mean, it would
So-
surprise me if there was a variant, but all I really remember is the Darth Vader head one. But you know,
I'll do some research.
oh, I found one for $10.50.
nice.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so let's talk briefly about the Clone Wars show games. There was a handful that came out right around the time when Clone Wars came out in 2008. Any of them you guys have played? There was Clone Wars lightsaber duels for the Wii.
I had a
The
friend
only-
that had that, and I'm not gonna say I was good at it, but he wanted to play it all the time whenever we hung out. Back when I was in, like,
almost
middle school.
got
the only one I played
Lego
was Lego
one.
Star Wars 3.
Well, we're going to get to that one in just
I've
a minute.
somehow missed out on all the Clone Wars TV show games. Somehow, I wasn't even aware they existed at the time when they came out for some reason.
So the only time I played these was, I think it was Republic. I had this DS one that probably wasn't very good, but I was a kid, so I thought it was There's the console version of like Republic Heroes or something, where you can play as like the Jedi or the clones, and I only played it like the demo kiosk at Target. I thought it was fine, but I don't know. I watched a little bit of a playthrough of it later. More recently, watching this guide called Obi Games. Anyways, so, or no, not even that guy, but like, anyways, Yoda is doing like a constant tutorial in one of those games, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. How do you make me tired of hearing it just seems like average generic licensed game. I mean, like, no way it's not like the worst. I don't know.
So yeah, there was also, like I said, lightsaber duels. There was Jedi Alliance, Republic Heroes. So I take it that pretty much, I don't think anyone here has played any of those aside from what you just shared, Wanderer, about your own experiences. I know I've never played any of those. Apparently, there was also a PC game called Clone Wars Adventures for PC and Mac that came out in 2010. But let's talk about Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars.
Oh,
Awesome
yeah.
game.
Here we
Oh
go.
man, that's like the one I didn't play.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I 100%ed 1 and 2, like episodes 1 through 3 and episodes 4 through 6 back when they were just called 1 and 2 on the GameCube. But I did not play the Clone Wars one.
Okay, so the first thing you gotta know about it is it's actually better than the Lego Skywalker saga that came out, because actual levels and actual hub with actual stuff in it, and not just a bunch of big empty maps. And it actually was focused and had this really, really cool army mode. My brother and I played a ton. There's like you can build whole armies to fight. You can even fight each other with it. It was like so cool.
But
I
I
think the
love
third one's
Skywalker
probably the
Saga's
best.
empty maps.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
one thing I'll point out that about the episode 3 one specifically that I think is a really funny thing. I'm sure you guys can pretty much cover all the other stuff. Do you think that entire framework of the storyline for the episode 3 game was the foundation for No Way Out, where it is a co-op adventure all the way to the very end, and then it's a versus with player
Maybe.
2?
Possible.
Like I noticed that when I was watching people play No Way Out, I'm like, this is just the Lego Star Wars Episode 3 story.
Oh
All
no,
of a
that
sudden
was
you're-
like in the episode 3 of the first Lego Star Wars, not
Yeah.
in like Lego Star Wars 3, which was the Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah. So
You're talking
yeah,
like the big
so-
final level of the first Lego Star Wars game where you like have to like fight Obi-Wan as Anakin or vice versa, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
that's
the,
what
in
I'm
the
talking
first Lego
about.
Star Wars game, if I remember right, the last level, the players fight each other as Anakin and Obi-Wan.
yeah, you're like
Oh,
you're
yeah,
fighting
Lego-
each other while continuously trying to make sure you both don't die in the lava
Yeah,
pit for like
yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
That was such
I-
a creative game at the time it came out.
Yeah,
The thing that always sticks out,
was
like
episode 3.
the thing about those games that always stick out in my memory is like, and I know this is taken for granted by a lot of like the newer releases, even before the Skywalker Saga, whatever they called it when it came out on the Wii, and it had all 6 in one game. Before like 7, 8, 9 came out, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6 were originally separate, and there was this
Yep.
cool little thing called Use Old Save. And it was like dirt cheap in like the in-game store. And I was like, what's this do? And it unlocks every character you have unlocked in the first game in the second.
nice.
See, I only played the combo version, so
So
Is this
That
just
was-
Lego
let's
Star
go-
Wars in general now?
Yeah, let's move on to what I call the general prequel era games, and let's go ahead and talk about the Lego Star Wars ones first.
Yeah.
All right.
okay. Lego Star Wars is Kino.
I have I've told this story elsewhere before, but it's somehow related to Star Fox. But the first Lego Star Wars game, the reason I got it is because I had bought Star Fox Assault because it had also just come out like a month before. And I was so disappointed with Star Fox Assault that I returned it the next day for the first Lego Star Wars.
Holy
wow.
moly.
Wow.
Top 10 anime betrayals. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I
don't know
will
how to feel about
clarify
that.
that I do like Assault a lot years later. But at the time I got it, I'm like, this game is really short, and I felt really just kind of disappointed. I felt like I didn't get my money's worth, so I returned it the next day and exchanged it for Lego Star Wars, which I thought was a lot better.
You
Just
didn't
wait to
figure
hear
out how
what
to
he has
turn
to
the
say about
dual
Star
stick
Fox
control, did
Adventure.
you?
I like Assault more than Adventures these days, I think, but I love Star Fox Adventures.
I've got
Okay,
both.
so-
I'm going on a tangent now. Just that was my weird story on how I got Lego Star Wars.
No, I
Well-
can feel all of us like trying to talk about Star Fox while trying not to talk about Star Fox.
Yeah.
That should be the title of this podcast.
Lego Star Wars. I have plenty to share. My brother and I. It was one of the few games we had initially, at least co-op on the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. We had like both of them. We played it and beat it so many times. I even went back and played Complete Saga. I just love its simplicity, yet it's just so much fun, especially with
Yeah.
all the co-op and the ability to like goof around. There's a lot of really goofy stuff, like Chewbacca can wear a stormtrooper helmet on his head. You could.
Or what about the randomly put in like disco rooms?
Yeah.
Three of them.
Or just like pulling out carrots to find like
This
a type
this
of
is
brick.
the time period that Bombad Racing needed to come out.
Yeah.
It was. That's why it's such like a cool thing. Like these games all came out within like 2002 to 2005, give or take. Like I understand that they were kids games, but like they were definitely like a very high quality licensed video game for how cheap and how like what the development team was told to make versus what they actually produced. Because before Lego Star Wars, I mean, you had like the Lego racing game on the PS1 and like the terrible what were the digging guys? And like
Oh, the
basically
Rock
the Rock
Raiders. I
But there was like
remember
all
that.
these
Raiders.
awful Lego games, like a Lego
Yeah.
Island, and like all these terrible games that were like known to be terrible and known to be crappy kids games. And then Lego Star Wars is like, we could do better.
Lego
One of the
Island
things that,
seizured so Lego Star Wars or Lego Star Wars could run.
One of the funny things is Traveler's Tales did Lego Star Wars, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with Traveler's Tales, but they kind of ended up being a big part of my childhood. They did Sonic R, they did Sonic 3D Blast, they did Haven Call to the King, they did Toy Story 1 and 2 for the Super Nintendo, and then also for the N64. And yeah,
Story mode of
and they
Minecraft.
also did Crash Wrath of the Cortex and Crash Twin Sanity.
Oh, I didn't know
They
they
did
did
more
those
than I
two.
thought.
Oh,
I do
hey,
know that they did The Walking Dead and Minecraft story mode.
so
Oh,
this
man.
is I'm looking at the Wikipedia list. Do you want to know what else they did? Do you remember when Lance was talking about that terrible Bram Stoker Dracula NES game or Super Nintendo game on the other podcast? They made that one.
Wow. I know the game
like
you're
how-
talking about, even though I wasn't on that podcast. I remember that.
I
That
like how they
game.
had that great mascot and never used it for like a single game.
Well, that because that mascot was originally going to be for Haven Call to the King, but that game took so long in development that Ratchet and Clank came out, and they were like, "Well, we can't use our mascot now because he looks too much like Ratchet."
Oh, they also did the third Super Monkey Ball game.
Who did Dark Cloud? Was that Travelers or
No, that
someone
was
else?
someone else, I think.
Okay. All right.
I think that was the people who made Metal Gear Solid 2.
Silicon
They
Knights?
have-
No, that was Twin Snakes.
Oh, so, yeah,
So-
sorry, yeah. Mixed them up.
So fun fact, they started making Lego games back with the Lego Star Wars in 2005. And then after 2008, when they did the Chronicles of Narnia, they never did anything else other than Lego games.
Wow.
And funny enough, the Chronicles of Narnia game pretty much plays like one of the Lego games.
Yeah, I remember that game. You punch things
Yeah.
and money
That
comes out.
sounds like a Lego game, all right.
Yeah,
Do you
that
also
line-
build things to fix things on occasion too?
That was the Lion, the Witch,
instead
and
you
these
team
hands.
up and
I
throw your
remember.
sister. I remember it was more like the Lord of the Rings games, though. Wait, did Traveler's Tales do the Lord of the Rings
No.
games?
I
That
don't
was
think
EA.
they did. Yeah.
Lord
That
of
was,
the-
that was EA, and that team would go on to make Dead Space. It would
Yeah,
really become visceral.
they once made slightly off topic, but EA making Lord of the Rings games. They once made someone, I think it was EA, once made a Lord of the Rings Battlefront clone.
Yep.
Yes, they
It was
did.
Infinite Software
kind of
did it.
jank.
It was hilarious, and it was so much fun just because of how silly it could get.
Yeah.
Yeah, with everyone's swords lighting on fire. It was that was a fever dream of a game. I think that was Pandemic that made it actually.
It was.
I think it was Pandemic, yeah.
Pandemic
It's just so weird. Like that game almost feels like kind of like an afterthought. It's such a weird Lord of the Rings game.
Everyone loves Scouring of the Shire, though.
I
So-
just remember that Lord of the Rings JRPG that came out on the GameCube and how it was
I
kind
remember
of
that
terrible.
one too. The Third Age.
Oh, the Third Age. I remember playing the Third Age.
That was a weird. There was a lot of weird Lord of the Rings games that kind of slipped through the cracks.
They tried to turn it into Harry Potter right after Harry Potter came out, and it just did not work.
So, yeah, my general experiences with Lego Star Wars is I played the demo kiosk when it came out at I think it was at Hastings, and I was really taken by the sense of humor of them retelling like the events of Episode 1. And I was playing and I was like, "Oh, this is just like Jedi powered battles, but better." And so eventually I bought that and also Lego Star Wars 2 for the GameCube. And for whatever reason, I played a lot of Lego Star Wars 2, but hardly any of Lego Star Wars 1. I don't know why. I need to fix that. But yeah, and then I need to get the complete saga. I'm hoping to like maybe get that for like the PlayStation 3 or whatever, so it would be like a nice HD. But yeah, so outside of Lego
it's on
Star Wars,
PC.
yeah. So outside of Lego Star Wars 1, and do you guys have any experiences with either the complete saga or the Skywalker saga releases?
Yeah, I had the complete saga, and I've also played through Skywalker Saga. And I'm kind of waiting until we get to Skywalker Saga properly to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that they did with that. But the complete saga was neat because, you had everything in there except for 3.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
gonna say,
Played the first
didn't they?
3 Lego Star Wars games and none of the others.
Well, didn't they cut out some of the bonus levels and stuff?
No, as far as I know, it's everything.
Okay, so they still had like the city level and stuff like that you get for collecting all the gold bricks and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think one of the bonus levels was actually like reworked from scratch, and so it's different. But outside of that, it's pretty much the complete package.
Oh,
Okay.
I think it's the gunship level. I think that's changed.
They
Yeah.
actually, yeah, they did. They actually kept the old version in as a bonus level. It was
Okay.
it was all more on rails originally, like a Star Fox 64 level. They changed that because it got a bit crazy.
Yeah, we should have titled this podcast the "Try Not to Talk About Star Fox Challenge."
Yeah. There's gonna
Well-
be comparisons drawn. I mean,
Yeah,
Star
fair.
Fox has a lot of influence from it, so
Yeah,
I
like
know,
Rogue
just had-
Squadron is just a pseudo Star Fox.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about Skywalker Saga now.
The Lego version, oh boy. Well, it's a decent game, but it need more time in the oven.
I don't know. I think it
character
was great.
creator, this short ass levels that feel like I've been thinking of this for a while. I mean, they did cool with some of the open worlds, but it would have been so much better if they just picked a handful of planets and focused all the open world efforts into those instead of trying to make every planet. I mean, it was kind of cool. You could visit all the planets. They did a decent job. It's a good game, but I don't know. They need more time and to focus instead of they falling into the trap of trying to do too much. I mean, Coruscant, they did well. I would have loved if they out more Tatooine having multiple areas. It's like they should have just picked a handful of planets from each of the different trilogies to represent and focused more on them because some of the plans are hit or miss. Their levels they need more and they need to be less short. I will say the combat actually was kind of because of how simplistic the original was, but just lacking in too many areas to be truly great.
Okay.
I don't want to cut you off, but you need to fix your voice gate. You're cutting out a lot.
Oh, sorry. Did you guys at least catch that stuff?
Yes, but you
Great.
do need
Yeah.
to-
We got the gist, but you've been cutting a lot.
Let me
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man.
Okay, sorry. I'm done talking. I'm gonna try to mute myself and I don't know.
So anyway, I really liked Lego the Skywalker Saga. Like, there's a lot of different things that they did with the story, especially in the prequels, where they explained what was going on, like politically, a whole lot better than the movies actually did, and it actually made the sequel series like a lot more bearable. Like, the things that I hated about the sequel series almost got fixed entirely in the Lego Star Wars version.
That's pretty high praise for a series that's kind of supposed to be more like tongue in cheek than serious.
How did they fix it, in your opinion?
Oh, just a lot of the more cringy things that happened. They kind of played it off either as a joke or it was like a. Or are you talking about in the prequel sense? Because that's a different.
Oh,
thing.
we're talking about Skywalker Saga. If you want to talk a little bit about the sequel stuff, you're more than welcome to.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, just like it was a lot more bearable than the story for the sequel movies was, and it seemed to flow a lot better. Where especially when you're in that level where you're in Han Solo's new ship and you're dodging like the squids,
Okay.
it just seemed to not take up as much kind of wasted time as it felt like it did in the movies. And like I said with the story with the prequels, it just seemed like they understood more what was going on. So when it came time to explain different things in the cutscenes, it was a lot more coherent and to the point, and kind of helped things flow a lot better.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. I've never played Skywalker Saga myself, so
Me neither.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up at all.
Yeah,
It's good.
but I did hear it had really good graphics for a Lego game.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Oh,
Are you saying that they weren't blocky, but tisk?
One other thing I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about Republic Commando. Originally, they did have plans to do a sequel to it called Imperial Commando.
Yep, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Well, that's why it ends in a cliffhanger where your friend gets kidnapped and then you can't do anything about it. And they say, "Oh, we just got to leave him behind."
And there's that
So-
terrible music at the end.
Sev
Yeah.
has like.
What are you talking
several-
about? Fake Breaking Benjamin is great.
Yeah.
So, let's kind of turn back the clock a little bit, back to the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. Let's talk about Star Wars Galactic Battleground sagas for the PC.
Yeah. That's probably actually one of my favorite Star Wars games.
Yeah, and that's because it's Age of Empires 2, which I love, but Star Wars edition.
Yep, I actually there's like a huge project for it called Expanding Fronts that I did a bunch of the sprite work for. That adds a bunch of the legend stuff into it. It adds a bunch of the Disney stuff too.
I never
Animated a
played
bunch
it.
of the
No
sprites.
nod out of 10.
What?
I never played it. No nod out of 10.
Oh. It's Age of Empires, but Star Wars. Literally is made by the same team that did Age of Empires and the same engine.
Hence why there's no nod.
Yeah. But I
Vader
played-
lives.
Yeah.
Vader.
But yeah, I played a little bit of it, not a lot, but it does cover episode 1 and episode 2 with its own distinct factions and campaigns.
It does. It does have tie-ins for the Phantom Menace and I think the Attack of the Clone Ones is during the movie too. Yeah.
Yeah, because they came out with an expansion pack called the Clone Campaign, so you play
It's for some reason the original trilogy ones are not during any of the movies. They're before or after, but the prequel ones are all during the movies for some reason.
Yeah. But yeah, you get to play as the Grand Army of the Republic, as they call the Clones faction in that game. They also, that's if I recall correctly, they also have like the Gungans as their own distinct faction.
Shockingly, they completely fleshed out the whole Gungan and Naboo. You could play as the Naboo also. Like they completely fleshed out their civilizations and how they work and stuff, which was it's interesting that they decided to do that.
Yeah. I always thought it would have been kind of been fun if somebody did like a mod for like the recent Age of Empires remaster and just like port all the Galactic Battleground stuff over into the Age 2 remaster.
That'd be interesting. I think there's people that have been trying that, but because I don't really work with them anymore because I kind of have just too busy. But I know the Expanding Fronts team is still adding new stuff to the old one.
Oh,
they're
that's
trying
cool.
to add the Trandoshans and the Mon Calamari and a bunch of other different civilizations.
Yeah, now, if I recall correctly, it recently got re-released on Steam.
I think it's been on Steam for a few years now.
Okay.
It was re-released. I think it was re-released like 8 years ago. I don't think it was. It might be more recent than I think, but.
Well, I bought like the old CD release of it for my Windows XP, and yeah. So let's talk about Star Wars Battlefront, the first one.
Oh yeah.
What is there to say? It's Star Wars Battlefront.
It's good, but like kind of the other ones kind of improved on it from what I saw. I didn't really play it much. It was definitely a good game, but yeah.
I like how it started off like Battlefield Vietnam, where it was a
Yep.
mod, and then EA bought them out.
Yeah.
I think Battlefront, when it first came out, was probably the most fun me and my group of friends like ever had when we first played it. Like we were just so completely blown away by the first Battlefront when it came out. Like we just couldn't believe this game even existed. Like, wait, we can play as a droideka? What the hell?
It was just pure fun.
Oh,
It was like such a step up from everything before it. At least that I was aware of at the time.
I'm at a disadvantage because I really didn't like the Battlefield games, and I've only really played through the multiplayer, or not the multiplayer, the single player of the Battlefront games because I just couldn't get into the multiplayer.
Hey,
And
it has a good bot
single
mode,
players.
so you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like the actual single player campaign is kind of.
I was saying the
kind
first
of a lot of
Battlefront,
nothing.
yeah, the single player in the first Battlefront is really just feels kind of like a tutorial, like an extended tutorial. I would say it's better in the second one, but still not absolutely. It really is like a multiplayer game.
The most memorable moment was when you're in that swamp and the guy reminisces about like the Jedi that dies there, and then
And
like
then the freaking giant accolades all come out. Is that the one?
oh I don't know, but I do remember that, like the level just sucked ass.
I remember a swamp level.
Yeah, because there's like a ship that goes, or not a ship, but one of those AATs that goes down, and then you have to like.
Yeah, that's
defend
the Felucia level, I think.
Oh, so I spent
Where you're
5 days
fighting
in
a bunch of those,
Fallujah?
all these giant, the giant spider crab things from episode 2. The accolades all come out.
Okay, yeah, it's that one.
That's Battlefront 2, though.
Yeah, that's the second Battlefront. Yeah.
Yeah, Felucia was introduced.
I like the Rinvar map in Battlefront 1.
Oh, which one? The one with the walkers or the one inside the city?
Well,
or
the
both?
one that, well, both, but I prefer like the one that's kind of like the ruined city where it's kind of like maze-like, but you have that open like field to like one side, and you can hop in the hover tank.
So
I guess technically both of them are in cities. But one of them's like really open and has a bunch of vehicles, and the other one's like completely enclosed in a city.
Yeah.
So does
go ahead.
All right. I remember this is my favorite memory from playing Battlefront 1, but everybody effectively remembers that heroes basically were not playable and they were effectively like almost indestructible, right?
Yeah.
In the first one.
Mostly indestructible.
Mostly, yeah. Because I was fooling around in Naboo as the Empire, and all of a sudden, Luke Skywalker has entered the battlefield. I'm like, oh no. But then I see him coming around from the draw distance, and I'm in the hover tank. I just boot it full speed and ram him into a building, and all of a sudden Luke Skywalker has retreated from the battlefield. And I remember my jaw dropped, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you could run him over, and that's how you defeat him." That's the only way.
You can knock him off cliffs too.
Pro strats.
Yeah.
So the Force is strong, but so is my friend Bumper.
I think I might be misremembering, but I think they can be eaten by the Sarlacc pit too.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So let's talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2.
It's
I loved the campaign for Battlefront 2.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, everyone's. I know everybody glazes like that and everything like that, but it was probably one of the coolest like Star Wars pieces of media.
That's the one where it rains on you, and there's a bunch of there's a bunch of walkers that shoot at you, right?
I mean, there's several levels where I think they set up like a situation like that. But I remember it was having was Tira Morrison actually be narrating the story, and having and it kept going, not just from like episode 3, but it kept going even further.
All the way to Hoth.
Yeah, you're following the 501st.
And I thought it was really cool that they included the clones versus the Empire, on Camino.
Yeah,
Everything.
they got the DNA and started making their own clones.
Yeah.
And the
So
Empire
yes,
sent
yeah,
them
yeah. They're like,
stuff.
we're gonna make another batch of clones for the same people, so that way we could rebel against the Empire. They're like, oh shit. But well,
I think there was
remember.
also another level where a Geonosian like recreates like the droid army, and the
Yeah, you have
Empire sent in
Empire.
to freaking crush him.
You're effectively, yeah, the 501st is effectively like eliminating the last remnants of the prequels. And it was really funny to go through all that, especially because Boba Fett joins you on the Camino level. So you play as Boba Fett mowing down clones, as if it's
Clones of himself.
like it's personal. It's really funny.
Wasn't
But,
there
yeah.
also a level
No.
where you're Darth Vader
level
and you
is
like
horrible.
like wipe out the Royal Naboo or something?
Oh,
Yeah.
there. Padme had a one of. I think they invented where. One of Padme's handmaidens took up a position.
Yes,
to-
it only just hit me that
Yeah.
like there's like 4 levels in that game, which is just the Empire trying to get rid of everything from the prequels.
Yeah,
before
yeah,
it
'cause-
moves on to the Galactic Civil War.
Yeah, and I remember.
It just
yeah,
hit me right now.
Yeah, you
It's
could
like,
play
we gotta
the
get rid of
Empire.
the clones. We gotta get rid of the droids. We gotta get rid of the Naboo.
Gotta get rid. Yeah, you gotta get rid of everything from the prequels. And yeah, it's especially funny, like seeing the fact that Vader is just, quite literally mowing down a model of Padme into the Naboo level.
Didn't somebody make a mod for Battlefront 2 where you play as Anakin, like, chopping down all the younglings?
Probably.
That wouldn't surprise me if that
Like-
existed. I'm not
I mean,
aware of it though.
The level Nightfall is pretty. It's
Cool,
pretty
yeah.
much that, but yeah, there's no younglings. But yeah, you play as the clone army and
Yeah,
then
you
Anakin. and
fight off you kill all the Jedi in the temple, and then you
I-
destroy the library.
I love
That's
how
a good
difficult
level.
that was.
Yeah,
That was
that
I
was a
remember
really
that.
hard freaking level.
There's like a billion hero characters.
You're basically fighting an army of hero Jedi characters, and your clones are basically useless in that level. So
Yeah,
you're like
I
one-manning a
remember
whole army of
fighting through
Jedi.
the library
so
for
good.
some reason. I don't
That was
remember
a tough
why.
one.
I think
They
you
had
had
to
to
destroy
protect something in the library, and all the Jedi were trying to destroy it, but I don't remember why either.
The bookshelves, they were trying to stop you from getting their knowledge.
Okay, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, if you
That part was
the point,
hard.
yeah, the point being is that if you eradicate the Jedi library, that means the records can be wiped clean, and the smear campaign against the Jedi can be complete. Where Palpatine just is like, no, they were trying to take over. They were always evil.
I mean,
So
was he wrong?
Well,
they make
depends on
mistakes?
if you
Yeah.
play KOTOR too.
from a certain point of view.
The Jedi don't seem like malevolent. They just seem like completely. What's the word I'm looking for?
Misguided.
They're
They are a
disconnected.
cult.
Maybe not even
with
misguided, but like they're
Yeah, I
in
was
their
gonna
own, they're like in their own world.
The Jedi
Yeah,
are
and, like,
disconnected.
they don't
act
allow
as the
people to-
secret police.
I mean, they use child soldiers that they take when they're from their home, when they're like toddlers, and put them in dangerous situations. So they are kind of evil, and they teach them that feeling love and affection.
They're like, oh my god, you're 8 years old. You're too old to join the Jedi. Like you have freedom of thought. What the heck?
I'm not really sure why that became a thing for the Jedi. That wasn't the
It's
case
because the
before they
Jedi
made the
are evil.
prequels. I'm not sure why they changed that.
Lucas
I know.
wanted to. I know that Lucas wanted to illustrate the fact that the Jedi became so complacent in their monastic traditions that they just were no longer connected to the galactic community that they swore to protect. It was,
One thing,
at least I kind of figured that was the intention.
One thing I suspect is because I do know in the original draft for Phantom Menace, Anakin was supposed to be much older,
hmm
and for some reason, I think it's because if I remember right, he ended up deciding Anakin was going to be a kid because he felt like it would be kind of strange if like an 18-year-old was leaving his basically he did that to make the kind of the separation from him and his mother be a little more traumatic. And I
Yeah.
suspect that's why he decided the Jedi abduct well, they don't necessarily abduct, but like indoctrinate children and basically train them to be freaking child warriors. But see, I would have done it
It's
the other way around. I would have been like, "Oh, he's too young to join the Jedi Order. We can't train him when he's this young." So I don't know. I do
It's-
agree that it's kind of weird that they indoctrinate little children to be like killers.
It's clunky. It's definitely clunky. The idea is that Yoda's Jedi Order effectively cannot trust those with free will with magic space wizard powers. So you either join them at a young age, or if they discover you, there's two ways it can go. You can either join the Jedi Order with a facsimile of the same rules if you join older, because for some reason there's a lot of glub shittos that effectively have dark force powers, but they're like, hey, if you fold under our Jedi Order, we'll let it slide. Well, it's okay. We'll let it slide. You just have to do every single thing that we say. And they're like, well, what if we don't? Well, we're going to take you over this planet where you're effectively an indentured servant, and you're going to make like our plastic forks and our plates and our chairs, and you're going to sit there for the rest of your life. Why?
Well, not
Because we
only
can't
that-
trust you with magical space powers.
Well,
I
from my
mean,
own
I
that,
can
but they're
kind of
acting as the-
understand the danger of just letting a bunch of Force users run around everywhere doing whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you can kind of understand them.
Well, I think
It's
the
also
idea.
acting as the
Babylon
secret
5
police for
and
the
how they
government.
treated psychics in that series.
I
Like I
could
said,
be
it's
wrong
clunky.
because I could be wrong because I haven't read all the books, but from my understanding, it was because it was supposed to stop attachment. Like
Yeah.
the whole main reason Anakin turns evil is because he was old enough to have hefty attachments, which then get used against him.
Well, yeah, because they're a
Like
cult.
the whole idea of like the impartial peacekeepers, that they're supposed to be like monks that don't have personal feelings and emotions, and they judge purely based off of the balance of the Force.
They want to
But
isolate you. That way, the other Jedi are the only connections that you have.
Yeah,
way-
Correct.
the epitome of Yoda's Jedi Order is Obi-Wan, a character that can let go of effectively any personal relationship that he has and basically be as disconnected as he can be in order to, as they would say, let the Force flow through him. Not perfect. Obi-Wan makes plenty of mistakes, and then Anakin is the exact opposite. So that's kind of where it's diametrically opposed. Like Anakin's the fail state, Obi-Wan is the success state.
Yoda did mention Luke being too old, even in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Guys, I do think I have to head out.
Yeah.
This
Alright.
has been a lot of fun, though. I wasn't expecting to go 3 hours, but I think we're near the end of the ones I've even played too. Are there even any more prequel tie-in stuff?
Well, all that's left on my list is the canceled Star Wars Battlefront 3 for the PlayStation 3, and
Never
then
played it.
also the 2 PSP Battlefront games, Elite Squad and Renegade Squad.
I haven't even played. I don't really have anything to add to those, so
Well, I have stuff to say about those ones.
Okay.
I'll let you guys get to that then. But thank you for inviting me. That was a lot of fun talking
Oh,
about a bunch of
okay.
cool games.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
showing up.
It's
Yeah,
good
and-
to see
Have a
you,
good one.
Ice Cream Man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, and maybe you can hop on another one of Lance's podcasts in the future, or one of our future Pixel panels. Before you go ahead and feel free to plug yourself and your socials again.
All right. It's probably gonna show up as Undying Nephilim, but I'm the Icecreaman on both YouTube and Twitter. But for some reason, it won't seem to change my old where it says like @ and then Undying Nephilim or whatever. So yeah, @ Undying Nephilim on Twitter and YouTube. But that's basically the main places to find my stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if was that confusing or.
No, but so what is it that you're currently doing on your YouTube and Twitter, if you don't mind saying?
I'm currently working on Star Fox Event Horizon, which is the completely insane fan game, and I managed to rope in some of the original voice actors from the old Star Fox games into it.
Even crystals.
It started with Estelle
Crystal
Ellis,
System
and then unfortunately he passed away recently. But we got Jock. He approached me to be in the project. Jock Blaney reprised his role as Wolf and Bill, but he just passed away recently, sadly.
That sucks.
But that's what I've basically been working on. I mean, I've been working on it for over 10 years, but I've really been focused on it for like the last 3 years now, 3.5 years, and that's kind of all I do now.
So since you're in that since you're very involved in that project, I remember when they were trying to make that first free space mod for Star Fox, and then that ended up dying out. Did this actually evolve out of that?
That is the thing that convinced me to use the engine, because I stumbled on that, and they had their little demo, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. Maybe I should actually consider using this engine like they did. So, and I used some of their designs for things, kind of like as nods to them.
Yeah, because I remember they had that demo that had like the rail system that they figured out for the game, so they could have on rails levels. But then it kind of died. I used to be in their forum back when.
Yeah, I remember that old forum, like way back in like 2009. I can't believe that was almost 20 years ago. That's crazy.
Black Mesa status on that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm still not sure why they stopped, and I've tried to get into contact with them over the years, but they've all disappeared. I don't know what happened to them, but seeing their demo is what convinced me to try using that engine. And
okay, because I didn't know
10 years later, or 12 years now.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know if it was just like picked up from where they left off, or if you guys like started a whole new thing with that.
I started a whole new thing. I don't
sorry.
even know what all their plans really were.
What were they called again? I don't know.
Shadows of Lilac.
Okay, thank you.
Like, I don't really know what all their plans were. Other than they were, I think one of the things they said is they were gonna have a duck character, and I just recently added a duck character to it because of that. But yeah, that's me and what I've been up to. So I'm gonna head out now though. So thanks guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm waving even though you guys can't see me.
You have a good one,
Goodbye.
man.
Thanks for helping me fail the not talk about Star Fox challenge again.
I'll
would've
fail
made
that
you
challenge
it
every
anyway.
time.
Yeah,
Well-
I would have helped that anyway.
Yeah. If anyone's listening, be sure to check out his stuff. It's a pretty cool project.
Great, I'll grab his stuff.
We'll see you guys.
Bye.
All right,
Later.
have a good one.
Bye.
Okay, so anyone have any thoughts about Star Wars Battlefront 3, the canceled project that recently got leaked?
Do I? I'm glad you asked. Yes, I do have some thoughts. I have thoughts that it actually became those two PSP games, and it would have been interesting. There's a bunch of older. Apparently, it was. I don't know. It was weird. They were gonna have like a bunch of, what was we call it? Alternate universe things where it's like, oh, this person's evil and this person's good, like Jedi Vader and Sith Luke and yada yada.
I think a lot of it was delving into effectively the what if territory kind of thing.
Which I think would be kind of cool.
Look, all I know about the canceled one is that I watched Vinesauce play it.
What did you think of it?
It looked like a lot of unfinished game.
Yeah.
Very, very correct. Yeah.
It got leaked like it got the Dinosaur Planet treatment. It was leaked online.
Oh God.
There's a lot of stretched textures and a lot of geometry.
Yes.
I think go ahead.
Yeah, I do think there was actually a more recent build that got leaked for the Wii that's far more complete. I think that happened just like last year.
Yeah, the
wanna
Wii
say?
version's the one I was talking about.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I thought the story was interesting since it's about like two brothers or clones brothers or something like that during like the whole Clone Wars era, and then it kind of goes from there all the way up to pretty much post Return of the Jedi. It was a very ambitious project.
It felt kind. Yeah, I saw a guy play. I read about the story once, and I saw some of the cutscenes. Interesting idea, but okay, a few highlights. The brother was the blatantly telegraphed villain ever. Like, I made a check with young say they're holding me back and talking about vaguely about power and complaining and being impetuous. Was like they could not have telegraphed him being the evil. They tried better than they tried. The other thing is, I remember that one scene where they fight, like basically their father, like friendship speech. Which I loved how that fell flat because he handed the evil guy, the evil brother X2 or whatever, back his weapon, and then that Jedi me killed. I'm like, yeah, no shit. It was like a parody of those
Yeah.
games. It was funny. It was very funny.
I think as far as like what I've seen on the script, it was a little hokey. I wasn't really like, especially now in the modern age of like like scrutiny with continuity and stuff like that. It's absolutely one of those things where you're gonna have to just suspend that disbelief to think that there are like two brothers from a force sensitive father, and one of them is like goes on this very very like hard to explain journey, because it's like how do you go from being like in the clone army to all of a sudden like picking up the force and evading the Inquisition and all that fun stuff. So it's like, but in the presentation I did think it looked cool, but like that's different than being written well.
That's true.
I
I
think,
think it would have been a pretty fun Battlefront game with the whole seamless transition from space to land.
yeah. I think the gameplay ideas would have been fun, but the story would have been goofy. Because we saw the story kind of play out, and well, for one thing, the gameplay would have been better on console. P is like, good grief, this was not built for that. But anyways, but
So
the other, sorry,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
just
were trying to No Man's Skies with that one.
yeah, just one more thing about the story. Look, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it just feels very fanficky. It's like, oh, my super secret character X2 or one who doesn't get a name, clone of a Jedi, and he was a clone, and then he is in the rebellion and he rescues Luke Skywalker, who somehow gets kidnapped off screen by a random stormtrooper who was force sensitive and now somehow became a Sith Lord, and he secretly infiltrated the Star and used the Death Star to let you go. And he was there just off screen at all these important events. Yeah,
But is
I
he
got that
more
one.
Mary Sued than Kyle Katarn?
Yeah, or
I,
Star Killer.
I like Kyle. I think Kyle's cool.
I like Kyle
I like
too,
Kyle.
but like you
Yeah,
gotta
the
gotta
Valley of the
hand it to
Jedi
him.
is pretty. Yeah, that's pretty Mary Sue-ish.
The
Yeah,
guy
The Valley of the
fucking
Jedi is
punched a Kell
ridiculous.
dragon to death.
And then everything with Desan is pretty ridiculous. So yeah,
So,
Become arguably
and
one of the most powerful Jedi.
so any brief thoughts about the two PSP Battlefront games, Renegade and Elite Squadron?
I think we just talked about them. They were
Okay.
Battlefront 3.
Yeah, pretty much. They were basically what was salvaged from the canceled Battlefront 3 project.
Yeah, I think they
Um,
certainly were the PSP. Yeah, I played the other one, Rogue Squadron, and literally everything I just said kind of applies there. They don't have one Gary Stu, it's just a blanket self insert of the secret squadron. I remember watching the guy narrating and okay, yeah, the real hero, but couldn't have been anywhere without our good friends Rogue or Renegade Squadron who did this important off-screen thing, and the controls were super wonky and you couldn't aim. P was not built for this. That goes to both games
Okay.
on the PSP.
Well, all in all, that's generally all the games that I wanted to discuss today. So yeah, so what do you guys think in general about this whole era of Star Wars games?
A lot of hits, a lot of misses. It's like the EU. It's the perfect summary of the old Star Wars expanded universe. There are some pretty high highs, but
It was all right.
it's
I
mixed
think,
bag.
That was
I am
the best take. It was all right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm definitely the intended demographic all the way from the start. Basically, growing up with everything there, it's basically how I guess I would picture one of your favorite fast food or one of your favorite like mom and pop places where the food is clunky, the food is messy, it's a little greasy, sloppy. There's some tragic items to get, and then there's some things that you just had like a huge hankering for, and it hit the spot just right. It might have been really unhealthy for you, but you did love it. And to me, it's basically part of like what I consider to be, low key fun for a lot of them,
Yeah.
especially the ones that were built really well. I think that they got their stride around the Attack of the Clones, and that's I think when Star Wars was hitting its basically ruling the playground kind of era.
Uh-huh.
So it's a part of me growing up. It always will be, despite my feelings about Star Wars now, where I'm really apathetic about it. But you know, I think that there were some wonderful things that could use a iteration for a series that doesn't have a ton of problems like it does now. So I think there's a lot of untapped potential in the prequels video game space.
Yeah.
Prequel games, the racks of video games.
I have a lot of fond memories with some of these prequel era games like Battle for Naboo and Clone Wars and the Battlefront games. Um, I think that all in all they were a pretty fun era of Star Wars titles and unique and different from, games that were, based off of like the classic Star Wars trilogy. I think the prequel era of games kind of started with a bang and kind of more of I wouldn't say a whimper, but more of a fizzle by the time they got to the Clone Wars era of the Clone Wars cartoon and stuff. But I think it started very strong right during an era where we were really transitioning into like 3D successfully, and so you had a lot of like you know talented, eager teams, especially starting off, and a lot of like new technologies that was being experimented with a lot of these titles.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that was very well put.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, so I think a lot of these games were fun. Some are kind of hidden gems. Some are certainly mixed bags. If each of you have like of the games that we talked about today, which ones would you personally recommend to somebody that wants to like go back and play some of these retro titles?
None of them,
Battlefront
they're
and
all
Lego
bad.
ones.
Okay.
I concur.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I
Yeah, Battle for
recommend.
Naboo is good.
Yeah, Battle for Naboo is really good. I still recommend Republic Commando and Bounty Hunter for just
Racer's
some
great.
Racer as well. If you want some fun jokes or how to make the random company names or random like how to fake being in a racing industry, you could look at Racing Revenge to see how the pros effectively like kind of fake it around. But I think a very unique experience can be found in like the Revenge of the Sith game and whatnot. So I always recommend those. I think for one though, I do believe that Jedi Starfighter is also a pretty cool one to look at. I would recommend that one. And I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, Lego Star Wars. Yeah, I think a lot of people know about those. So
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
and
go ahead.
don't forget the goated Darth Vader plug and play.
Oh yes. Clearly the greatest of all time.
1049 online, super cheap, very available.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Dan wasn't glazing the plug and play since he's the master at that.
Well, just because I played a lot of them as a kid doesn't mean they were good.
Yeah, but you actually beat them, so you're the master.
Yeah, true. I haven't beat them, so yeah, that's just true.
Yeah. For me, I would definitely recommend the Lego Star Wars games. I would definitely recommend playing the 2 Star Wars Battlefront games. I would also I will also add that if you are going to play Star Wars Battlefront 2, I would recommend the PC port because it has really robust modding scene. People have been adding more and more maps over the years for that one. And also, I would recommend what I consider to be quite the hidden gem, Battle for Naboo for the 64. And I would also recommend the Clone Wars game. I think all those games are certainly highlights of the prequel era, and I would certainly recommend giving those a try. Of course, they're all Star Wars, so even like the weakest ones, you probably would have some fun with. And so yeah, that's the prequel era of Star Wars games. So while we wind things down, let's go ahead and kind of go ahead and share our socials in case anyone wants to check any of you guys out after listening to this podcast episode. Beth, you have anything that you'd like to say for your outro?
No, I'm trying to regress from the internet currently, so until I have some sort of new project, I'm just forget I was here.
Oh, okay. I'll do a whole Jedi mind trick to forget you were here.
This is not the path you are looking for.
Neuralize.
Thinking that.
Yeah. Okay, Dan, why don't you go ahead and share some final thoughts and plug your socials again and what you're up to?
Yeah, so again, my name's Dan, a huge retro gaming nerd. I started a small company that sells individually sealed, extra large, like 6x5 inch roughly, 71% isopropyl wipes, specifically made for cleaning video game controllers. Because I'm a huge like retro hardware collector, and anyone that has more than like 2 gaming controllers knows that they get really gross and sticky after a while. So yeah, and those are available on controllerwipes.com, spelled with a Z. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay. Sobin, how about you go ahead and share any final thoughts and what you're up to and socials and stuff about yourself?
All right. I hope that if Star Wars games wants to return to the top, maybe just implement a lot more of that crazy fun aspect. Maybe they will. The new racing game looks interesting. We'll have to wait and see on that. Um, like I said before, I'm a digital illustrator and doing my absolute best to try and grow out of my day job in food service, which is never fun and stinks. So, my socials, x.com/retail robbery, as well as same on Blue Sky, same thing, retail robbery on that one too. And any follows or anything like that, I do a lot of Star Fox, some Disney, things like that. Pixel art, digital illustration. I take commissions and everything like that. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, why don't you go ahead, Mysterious Wanderer?
Thank you. First off, okay, about the prequels. Yeah, like I said, I definitely think mixed bag, some highs, some lows, some average. But at least it was could be different and experimental compared to nowadays, where I don't know, like cans. They have a long history of canning projects even before the buyout, but they can too many now. We just don't have as many interesting games to play, although there are a few. So yeah, definitely an interesting era, which I'm glad happened. I kind of wish and please consider visiting my socials at Arcane Wander on like Blue Sky or my Tumblr blog. Take a look at my comic Amatherine on like Web such, please, and maybe consider visiting the Ko-Fi. I'm trying and my Patreon. I'm trying to get out of retail and this is kind of the best bet. So yeah, do definitely take a look at those, and I'd be oh so grateful. Thanks.
All right. And I am Somerset Banjo, otherwise known as Sunnyside on Discord. I was the host of this episode, and you can find me on Facebook. Well, not Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Blue Sky, DeviantArt, Tumblr, You can find me on YouTube. Most of that stuff is going to be under the name of Somerset Banjo. I stream 4 times a month. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming Star Fox 64. And Dan's going to be a guest on it, I believe, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it as well.
I'm working on a Star Fox webcomic. And I'm currently recruiting like artists and writers for that project. I'm hoping to maybe build a social media page for our comic teams sometime later this year. Now, if you want to support me directly, I do have a Ko-fi, also known as Somerset Banjo. I've been trying to raise money to help support my channel, also to cover certain medical expenses that my dad's been going through currently. But yeah, any little bit will help there. I'm currently in the hospitality industry, and I'd like to kind of do anything else other than that, at least on some days when the work is tough. And I want to kind of get into writing or filmmaking and things like that. And, some of my projects like my YouTube videos and my webcomic is kind of a good way to explore those avenues. But yeah, feel free to check me out on YouTube, Somerset Banjo, or on Twitch. And check out my Ko-fi, which is also known as Somerset Banjo. And, well, that was today's Pixel Panel on the Star Wars Prequel Games.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to the awesome supporters over on Patreon who help keep Retro Reloaded going. Huge thanks to the 64-bit legend, our legendary supporter Zero, for always being consistent and such an awesome supporter of the show. Also, our 16-bit adventurers, Tetra Folly and Marcus Q, thank you so much for helping the show every month. You're always very supportive, and I appreciate you. And then, of course, our 8-bit explorers, Werkin Warden, Gaming Quarterly, and Anthony T. Thank you so much for your help. Everything counts, and I appreciate your support. And then, of course, just everybody who listens to the show, who likes the show on YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all these different places where you watch and listen to the show. Thank you for supporting me there. Leaving comments helps a lot. Liking, engaging, all these things. So appreciate your involvement. It's been really great. And if you're ever interested, there is a free tier on Patreon. It's just it's a good way to get involved. And of course, our Discord, Retro Reloaded Discord is a really great way to be involved in the community. So thank you all for keeping retro gaming alive.